have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Otherwise known as Chat Lives Matter Night, right here live on KLRNRadio.com. We do have a full lineup of programming for you tonight, so it'll be myself and Stacy right here kicking off the Whatever Show. For those of you watching on the video feeds or listening on Spreaker or even Live 365, the feeds aren't going anywhere tonight. I've decided I'm going to start doing all the extra work after we're done instead of making you guys wait around for me to hit a bunch of buttons. So just hang out in the chat tonight. It's not going anywhere. So once you find your way in, you can just kick back, relax, and listen to us talk smack about the Democrats. But I'm one half of the crew, Mr. Rick Robinson. She's the other half, Miss Stacy Lytics. And it's Wednesday. My dudes, how are you, Miss Stacy?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you this fine evening? I feel like I've been hit by 5 different trucks. I mean, this news cycle is just unbelievable.
Dude, and I'm going to borrow a colloquialism from our friend Brad, otherwise known as the entertainment writer, formerly known as Brad Slager. He keeps saying we're not in a news cycle, we're in a news peloton at this point, because I don't even know what the hell is going on. It's like every 5 minutes there's something new, and it's just insane. And then I have friends melting down all over my timeline. We might as well just pack it up and go home because I'm just like, oh, I can't do this again. Y'all were just amped up a week ago. Come on, man. I mean, I get it. It's weird. I don't understand why none of the Democrats on social media seem to be pissed off that their vote was thrown away. I don't really understand that. But I also don't believe that on social media there's a fair representation of how Democrats are really feeling right now. I guess we will find out soon enough. But I still can't imagine that they're okay with them going through the democratic process, going through the primary, and then, oh, we've decided our guy can't win, so we're going to do a do-over. Can you imagine what would have happened if that would have been successful for us in 16? Because the establishment tried to do that in 16. We stopped them.
Well, there was a fair amount of Republicans out in the field that wanted them to do it too. It was a little bit different, I think. Number one, but number two, I think you underestimate the number of Democrats who care more about winning than the process. I mean, if they really cared about the process, why would they have existed for all of these years with the superdelegates? I mean, the superdelegates decide what's going to happen anyway. They're the fail-safe.
I guess you have a point.
I mean, they're not like us. So
maybe
while we sit here, while we sit here and go, well, the party of democracy just ruined democracy. They're like, guys, you don't understand. What democracy means is we win. Like, the words don't mean the same thing. They're not like us. I mean, can you imagine had there been an assassination attempt on Joe Biden, finding a Republican Home Depot worker going, God, I'm so sorry the bullet missed, and ending up going viral? I don't, like, at work, like, feeling so free in your workplace about being sad that somebody didn't get their head blown off, that you would just say it out loud to somebody wearing a Trump hat and, like, chase them out of the store. Would that even occur to most people on the right?
No.
I mean, Sheila Jackson Lee died, and you saw us wishing, the best for her family and all this other stuff. We're not like them. We're not. This is why I say these are people I don't really want to share a country with.
Yeah, but do you really think that most of the rank and file Democrats are that far gone?
At least 30%. Yeah. At least 30%, and 20% can do anything. It only takes about 20% of a population to make radical change. And that 20% sits in all of our power centers. They sit in universities. They sit in the media. They sit in the bureaucracy. It's not a joke. I mean, they sit in positions of power, and that's the problem.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Do I think necessarily the Democrat who goes to your church thinks that way? Probably not. But they're part of the problem at this point too. They don't see what the party they vote for is willing to do. Sorry.
All right, we have a request from Raptor in the chat.
Okay.
He wants us to recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, I understand we are a republic. I get it. But we have democratic features in that we vote for people. And certainly primaries have democratic features.
Well, I hate to point this out, and I've been pointing it out now for almost 6 months. We're actually less of a republic now and more of a democracy. We became
since we decided to popularly elect the freaking Senate. Yes.
Ever since the 17th, we became
the only Republican feature we have left is the Electoral College, and they'll take that next.
Not if we don't let them.
I don't want to share a country with these people. I think they need to be shamed. I think it needs to be anathema to support the current iteration of the Democratic Party. You should be embarrassed to support them.
Well, that's what they've been saying about us, though. So that's why.
But like all of a sudden, post-assassination, there's a permission structure that allows people like Elon Musk, who had a problem with the Democrats, to say, I'm voting for Trump. David Sachs, right? The tech bros in Silicon Valley. There's a permission structure now that allows people to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. That didn't exist in 2016, and it didn't exist in 2020. So we would not have been able in 2020 to bring freaking Tractor Supply and what was the other one? Tractor Supply and John Deere to their freaking knees. We just wouldn't have been able to. It would have been suppressed. It would have been shut down, right? We're bringing those organizations to their knees. The latest victim looks like it might be Harley Davidson.
I couldn't believe
I know the people that ride those bikes. They're the same people that drink Bud Light and still have not gone back to drink Bud Light.
I mean,
okay?
I couldn't believe it when I read that about Harley, though. Harley is like an American institution, yo.
I want live feeds from Sturgis of empty Harley Davidson events and empty fucking Harley Davidson booths. Because just like certain other industries like John Deere, right?
Yep.
They Harley Davidson's bread and butter is a two-step distribution service or system. So Harley Davidson doesn't own the dealerships, entrepreneurs do. If the entrepreneurs start feeling the pinch of that business, they are going to be shaking the ladders to say that CEO needs to be gone, and he needs to be gone tomorrow. Harley Davidson doesn't sell any fucking product without their dealers. So you just empty out of all the dealership booths at Sturgis. You empty out of all Harley Davidson events. They made white men go to a training to be told how shitty white men are. Do you know who drives Harley Davidson motorcycles?
White men.
95% of them are white men. And they're white men that you do not trifle with, that would not be sitting in that fucking training without raising hell.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. That's half the reason why I retired. I kept being forced to go through DEI training every year when I went to work for the university. I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. They're like, well, if you're not going to take the training, then we're eventually going to have to fire you. And I'm like, well, then I guess I'll start my paperwork, but I'll do it this last time. But if I'm still here next year, you're going to have to fire me. Because I'm over all of it, man. I mean, and the thing about it is,
that's the thing. Oh my God, they said she's the DEI candidate. No, we didn't say it. Joe Biden said it.
Oh,
Joe Biden said, I am only going to consider black women for this role. All four of the people he considered, Val Demings, Susan Rice, Kamala Harris, and there was one more. Maybe it was Stacey Abrams. I don't know. I know they were all four black women. That was the first qualification you had to meet, and then you're picking the tallest fucking midget. If you limit the pool, you're picking the tallest midget. That's all you're doing. Okay? And they do not. This frosts my ass. Okay? Because I'm sorry, my family is full of white men that I love very much. Okay? Frost my ass that they go around saying DEI is a universal good. It's necessary. It makes organizations better. It makes us better as a country. And when we point out the most consequential use of that process, they call us racists. No. You say it's a universal fucking good. You defend it. And as soon as I quote tweet these leftists and say that to them, they fucking block me. You know why? Because they can't defend it.
I mean, I
have worked with capable people of all colors during my career. I don't see a need, having lived in corporate America, for any of this.
Oh my God, it's real.
What's real?
Sorry, I got distracted. Juanita Broderick sent out a picture of who she was voting for, and it was a flag that said the Outlaw and the Hillbilly 2024. It's real. You can buy it online right now.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of really want one. Oh, anyway, sorry.
You're trying to destroy JD Vance, who you guys vaunted as like the hillbilly whisperer going into 2016 to try to figure out the Trump phenomenon, right? And now you're saying he's not a hillbilly? He's not from Kentucky? What?
Yeah. So he's not from Kentucky. Apparently, he didn't live in a shack, and his mom didn't basically starve him when he was a kid. But sure, he's not a hillbilly or anything.
I mean, I'm just sitting like, and Kamala Harris is not the borders are. Time Magazine, Newsweek Magazine, Axios. I mean, I found like 15 press organizations that christened her that themselves. And let me say this, because I've now said it on X. Even if you would like to contend that all she was in charge of was diplomacy with Mexico and diplomacy with the Northern Triangle, she didn't even do that, because the one that went to Mexico to put down the hammer to make Joe Biden look better about the border crisis going into the election was not Kamala Harris. It was Anthony Blinken.
Yep.
So she didn't even do that job. And I'm going to say it just like I would not vote for Barack Obama because of his policies. I would not vote for Kamala Harris any more than I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders or Pete Buttigieg or at this point, even freaking Chuck Schumer. My God. All right. My rant's over. Ranty
sure?
Stacey was here for a little while. Yeah, I'm just like opening Twitter raises my blood pressure to the point that my blood pressure used to get raised in the 2012 election. And I don't know why, because the race card has expired. Like, I don't even care if somebody calls me that anymore. Like, what does it even mean? Tell me what it means. Define that for me, because I know what I think it means. And I'm not one. So I know what it meant when Archie Bunker played one on TV. And that's what it always meant until about 5 minutes ago. So if you've got a new definition, why don't you tell me what it is? And they can't. They can't. It's just opposing somebody whose policies you hate. I don't want Medicare for all. I don't want an open border. I don't want men in the girls' locker room. I don't want a gun buyback. I don't want to stop fracking. That's why I'm not voting for Kamala. We're not sisters. We don't see the world even remotely the same.
Yeah. Oh.
And Joy Reid going on TV saying if you're black and you don't for Kamala, you're going to be, people will think you're crazy. Joy Reid, have you listened to yourself? Have you listened to yourself? You're the MSNBC race lady.
It's your whole shtick.
It's your whole shtick. You, who were privileged, went to private school and some of the best universities in this country, want to sit there and play a press chick from the hood. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You're not Jenny from the block any more than Miss Ocasio-Cortez is.
But they want to be.
They're not. I'm like literally about to start going to left-wing rallies and coming at them from the left again.
So what exactly does that mean?
Well, all the things we're not allowed to say as Republicans because it looks like we're not for law and order.
Ah, okay.
See, the wonderful benefit we have, and nobody ever uses it correctly. And I learned this from my good friend Robert Stacey McCain. Is you infiltrate their forums. Like, I can dress up like a 50-year-old hippie lesbian. I mean, come on. It's not that hard. Just don't wear any makeup, put on some Birkenstocks, and, wear a t-shirt that says something very leftist and a pair of baggy jeans. It's not hard. It's not hard. They have a look. And you just go into their forums and you listen to what they have to say. And then you come at them from the left because we are immersed in the left arguments all the time. All the time. When I meet somebody I know well who's for abortion, I can tell them why they should have been aborted, according to the left.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I just was laughing.
No, I know, but we don't infiltrate their spaces. We don't fuck with their heads. We should. We should. Look what have you seen the trailer for this thing Matt Walsh is doing?
I haven't, no. Oh my
god. Oh my god. He dresses like a leftist to go into this race baiting industry and ends up sitting down with Robin DiAngelo and she doesn't know who he is. And she says to Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire, I'm sorry, I had to ask your name because we have to be very careful. Because yes, we have to be very, very careful. The movie's called Am I a Racist?
Nice. All right. Well, I just found something that actually really pisses me off. Apparently, they vandalized the Liberty Bell.
Mm-hmm. They were painting statues in D.C. They're trying to start a war. I promise you. They're trying. And the first time... I'm looking at that and
I'm speechless. I'm never speechless. But I'm looking at that going, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? This is what we're doing now in this country? Okay, I'm taking that off the screen before I get even more mad. Because holy crap. But yeah, when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, I was really hoping somebody was going to tell me it was a joke or AI or something. But no, apparently that's one of the things they did.
What?
I'm just sitting here watching, I've been watching these videos all day of all these protesters that are just, dragging cops and burning flags and graffitiing everywhere, but somehow we're the terrorists. I don't know anymore. Oh, this was good. Did you see this today? So the sandwich lady, otherwise known as Jen Rubin, tweeted this 11 hours ago today. Her name is Harris, or VP Harris. News reports telling her Kamala may not be intentionally disrespectful or demeaning, but that is how she is treated, and it's wrong. And then somebody community noted her with like 5 times that she did the same thing.
Like within the last 2 days.
Which I thought was delicious.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, that was fun. Oh, damn it, Jesse. Jesse Kelly quote tweeted the Liberty Bell stuff. You cannot live and let live your way out of where we are.
Nope, you can't.
I was just trying to get optimistic again, damn it.
Well, so anybody who is thinking that this is going to be a walk in the park isn't thinking.
Oh no, I'm not trying to tell anybody it's a walk in the park. And as a matter of fact, I've been telling everybody the exact opposite.
This woman has failed up for every position she has had since she went down on Willie Brown.
I was going to say she failed up in every position because she was good at one.
Well, I'm just going to say this. Thank God for Megyn Kelly. She said it's fair game, and I agree as a woman. Most women don't like women who slept their way to the top. Not really a thing. In corporate America, they weren't allowed at the girls' table anymore. We all knew who they were. And especially if they're doing it with another woman's husband. Yeah, no.
Well, so
you're not going to sit at this table. Get the fuck out of here.
Here's my thing, right? I wouldn't care if it wasn't for the fact that every time I turn around, anything our side does that is considered immoral is like plastered everywhere.
Yep, you guys had a ball with Lauren Boebert, so we're going to have a ball with this. Did I lose you?
No. G is trying to come in early.
Oh.
So it was throwing me off.
Oh. I was going to say, way early. Way early.
All right. Speaking of which, let's take a break real quick. Since we're about the halfway mark anyway.
Okie doke.
It's Wednesday, my dude.
Except I don't have the intro or the break thing loaded. Haha. Ignore the Wednesday yell. That was not what I was going for. All right, you're listening to Whatever live on KLRN Radio. Don't forget, for nights like this, I've now decided we're live all night, and I'll do all the work after everything's done because I've been losing about 45 minutes, and it's going to take me that long to work everything out on the other side anyway. So at least this way you guys aren't impacted and it's just me. You're listening to us live on KLRN Radio. We do this thing every Wednesday night starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's called Chat Lives Matter Night around here. Speaking of which, when we come back, one group is actually vocally pissed, and I was kind of surprised to hear it. Black Lives Matter is not very happy. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
What people want you to see. How what's it gonna be? Before we get on the bus, the cars, no fuss, get a grip on yourself, it's all.
All right, we are clear for about 4. They will still hear everything on the video side because I don't really have any way to stop that yet.
I still love the tag in my profile.
Hey, G, since you're here, can we get a sound check? I guess he stepped away again. So never mind.
Only Jesus can save you and everyone sucks. Andrew Clavin on politics. I love me some Andrew Clavin.
I don't know. Anytime anybody says anything about Andrew Clavin, all I can think of is Cliff Clavin off of Cheers. So. All right, coming back in about 2 minutes. Oh, shit. See, this is why I wish I was better at Photoshop. All right, coming back.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
I want you to see how long's it gonna be before we get on the bus and cars no fuss.
And welcome back into the final segment of Whatever. I'm Rick. She's Stacy. It's Wednesday night here on KLR Radio, which means it's Chat Lives Matter night. Coming up next is the Conservative Curmudgeon. We will as far as I know, we're supposed to be probably covering the Biden speech. It's supposed to be kicking off around the same time. And then I haven't decided what we're doing with the 9 o'clock hour yet, because no FUBAR tonight. So I haven't decided. But Ordy and I will be here nightcap one way or the other. So hang around for the next 3-4 hours, depending on how long we decide to keep the feed running. It'll be live all night. Don't have to go anywhere. Keep relocating to different chat rooms, all that fun stuff, while we start trying to keep all this sorted out for you guys to make it as easy for you as possible. But anyway, as I teased before the break, one group that I was kind of surprised to hear from was Black Lives Matter. And apparently some of the chapters are not very happy about the whole, just tossing out votes and handpicking somebody. So I was kind of surprised to see that. I don't know how long it'll last, but at least until I started hearing from everybody else gave me a little bit of hope today that maybe some of the Democrats actually are pissed.
Kamala Harris was never popular among black men.
Well, I mean, of course not. She's not. I mean, she's a person of color. She's not African American. That's part of the problem. Everybody keeps trying to interchangeably use the word black and African American, and it doesn't always apply. As a matter of fact, if memory serves, during her college years, she identified as Asian.
Dear Lord, this pisses me off.
What now?
So NBC decided to do a focus group of women in Wisconsin who had voted for Donald Trump twice. Okay, and see if they're motivated to flip to Harris. First, not a woman on the panel except for one weighs under 250 pounds. So they pick like what the media sees as the typical Trump voter, right? Middle-aged, glasses, not wearing makeup, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Second, how do you perceive VP Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience? Focus group, I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border. That's what she was supposed to be doing. Elise Jordan, is there anyone that Kamala Harris could appoint as her VP that you would find reassuring? I would never consider voting for her. I would consider RFK Jr. way before voting for her. Elise Jordan, when do you think America will have a female president? Focus group, when there's a competent one.
Oh, damn.
I don't get a good feel for her. I think she's an idiot. Elise Jordan, why do you think she's not that bright? Because she hasn't done anything in the time that she's had. She's not real smart. Average women in Wisconsin look at Kamala Harris. They don't think the first future female of the United States. They think idiot. Pretty much.
So why did that?
NBC went out into the wild, and found some normie Americans and are stunned by what they learn. Fucking idiots.
I'm confused by why this made you mad, though.
Fucking idiots. Those women want cheaper groceries, cheaper gas prices, and not to be on the brink of World War III. Really, that's all we want. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh, you can't call her Kamala. You have to call her Harris or VP Harris. What woman is called by her last name ever? We don't like it. I would think it was very strange if people went around calling me Lennox. That was my kid's nickname in high school.
Note to self.
Like, that's what dudes put on the back of their jerseys when they play sports. Their last name, they identify with it. They carry their last name into a marriage. Like, whatever. And I got roasted today, and I don't even care. I even have people from our side going, why would you say something like that? Because it's what I think. You guys not followed me for any appreciable amount of time? Jesus. I don't think that a woman who has never had children should lead the country. And no, her stepkids don't count. And even if they did, they're horrible people.
Not even because they call her mama, though?
No, they were raised by their mother.
I know.
Okay? They have a mother. That's why she's Mamala. I know stepmothers who are called mom for a reason, because they raised the children. She's not one of them. And there's probably a reason she's so much of an abortion fanatic.
Stacey, I'm gonna need you to explain this to me. Hang on.
I have no explanation.
Well, it's from our good buddy Ed Krasenstein. Apparently,
let me speak directly to the millions of Republicans across the country who are tired of making excuses for Donald Trump's behavior at their churches, in their offices, and at their own kitchen tables. Enough is enough. The nightmare has to end, and it has to end now.
Who is that?
It's time for us to purge Donald Trump from our system. Let's take the next 4 years as Republicans and build and heal a new party, a GOP 2.0, a party that finds leaders that are willing to embrace conservative principles and work across the aisle. Let me speak.
Who is that?
according to Ed Krasenstein, it's your former lieutenant governor. Former
Oh,
Georgia Republican
it probably
Governor
is.
Jeff Duncan apparently endorsed Kamala Harris. Because I don't do political correctness either. So
let me go to Ed's account. How do I find Ed?
Hang on,
Is he just Krasenstein?
Well, here, just go open the private chat, and it's the second link dropping right now.
Okay. That's why he's our lieutenant governor.
That's why he's your lieutenant governor, because he sucks.
No, that's why he's our former lieutenant governor.
Ah, okay. But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, but so our friend Vincent Charles, I don't know if it was him that did it, but I'm going to give him credit because he's the first one that I saw with it. Took Rashida Tlaib's sign and changed it to "I need dick."
What?
Yeah, I think it was Rashida Tlaib. Whoever it was that was holding the sign up in Congress today.
Yeah, that was Rashida.
Yeah, so she was holding up the one on one side. It said "war criminal," on the other side, "stop genocide." Somebody photoshopped and changed the sign to read "I need dick."
She's just a horrible human being. I don't know how I share it. How do I share a country with people who elected her?
I don't know.
I'm really, really struggling, Rick. I'm struggling.
Yeah, you and a bunch of people.
I literally live in a neighborhood in a county that went 70% for the former president in 2020. And there's a family who has moved in and put one of those damn flags in their yard. Nobody else has a political sign because we're all trying to keep the peace. I just want to go rip that sign out of their yard. Get your shit out of my neighborhood. I mean, I'm as political as you can get. I got nothing in my yard.
Oh. Don't you guys have some sort of HOA that could have stopped them from moving in or something?
We can't even stop people from.
Just kidding, anyway. Yep, not falling for that one. That one's got to be another parody. There's a parody account that I even started following, hoping I wouldn't keep falling into their bullshit, and she still got me last night. I think I just found another one, so I'm just staying away from it. But I don't know. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's impossible to keep up anymore. I mean, not that I've had many days off since I changed career paths anyway, but this month has definitely been busier than average. I can barely even find any time to write anything anymore because I'm always trying to cover all the news on all the streaming stuff lately. But I guess the one thing that I really wish I understood was how come we're okay with a bunch of supposedly pro-Palestinian protesters like tearing shit up and burning flags and everything else.
We're not. The left is. They're starting to amp up the heckler's veto that got Joe Biden into office, right? The tacit promise in Joe Biden's election is if you elect me, the riots will stop. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, it sort of kind of made sense when he wasn't the guy in charge, but now they're doing it even though their side is the one in charge, which makes zero sense to me. But so here's an interesting little checklist I want to go over because I want to see if you remember any of these things. This is supposedly the 13 things you may have forgotten about Kamala Harris, according to our friends over at The Blaze. One, she was only one of 14 people that endorsed the Green New Deal, says Glenn Beck. Among those who signed it were Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, placing Kamala with the radical of the radical. Number two, Harris co-sponsored single-payer healthcare, i.e. universal healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
3, she advocated for a complete transition away from fossil fuels in 10 years, which would have led to the collapse of our economy. 4, she supported a universal government jobs guarantee, whatever the hell that means. Number 5, she was also for government programs promising universal access to healthy foods. And of course, they get to decide what the definition of healthy food is, so there's always that. She wanted to upgrade every single home and business building in the country for energy efficiency, otherwise known as they were coming after your gas stoves and your gas appliances and your gas heaters, even though they tried to tell you they weren't. Wow. So this one is 7 through 13. Harris also supported universal basic income, new national living wage standards, more power for labor unions, free college, a whole new electric grid, the end of gasoline cars by 2030, and the transformation of the U.S. agriculture, including the end of much of the cattle industry. She's a democratic socialist and incompetent, according to Glenn.
Yes. And according to those women in Wisconsin.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe we should start disseminating this stuff for everybody to just start passing out everywhere. Anytime anybody starts talking about, you can't talk trash about her, really, because she likes some really stupid shit.
I can, and I will.
Well, I mean, you can. You get a semi pass because you're a chick, although you're a white chick, so they're still gonna hate you.
And she's an Indian chick. She played Indian chick for her entire life until 5 minutes ago.
That's because it was advantageous. That's why.
She was raised by her Indian mother in Canada.
That's why half his life, Barack Hussein Obama went by Barry.
And she never celebrated Kwanzaa because she was raised, what is it, Hindu? What is it in India? I can't remember.
Hindu is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, she was raised in whatever religion her mother was in. I mean, there's pictures of her all over the interwebs in traditional garb from India.
Yeah, there's Hindu, Sikh, and then I think something else. I think there's 3 dominant religions.
Maybe it was Sikh then. I don't remember. And here's the thing. I don't really care. I just resent the whole chameleon thing. I totally respect Sage Steele. She's like, one parent of mine was white. My mother was white. My father was black. She's like, I don't know why. She said a long time ago, I don't know why Barack Obama calls himself black. He's biracial. God bless her.
He calls himself black because it's advantageous.
I know. Same with Kamala Harris.
You're saying it wrong. She's Kami Lama.
I don't know. There was a whole article. This is how you pronounce Kamala. Really? Because I've heard her pronounce it 3 different ways. Does she even know how to pronounce it?
I've heard her mom pronounce it 3 different ways. So apparently she doesn't even know. So I don't really care. That's why I stick with the Kami Lama.
I am so angry looking at my Liberty Bell.
See? I'm saying. So here's my thing with all of this, right? And I don't understand why at least more people like you and I aren't hitting them with this, because neither of us is as small as we used to be as far as doing this kind of stuff. I'm not saying we're any of the heavy hitters, but we're damn sure not little league anymore. And somebody needs to keep reminding these people that the entire administration lied to us for 3.5 years, and we have proof now. So why would anybody want to vote for somebody who helped perpetuate that lie? Because at least if we can keep anybody from bleeding off of our side, which according to them is already happening, I don't really believe it, we still might be able to hold this thing together. But I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying all week. Stop listening to the polls. I don't care whether they show he's 20 points up. I don't care whether they show he's 20 points down. Vote and fight like we're 60 points under, because it's the only way we're going to be able to stop the creative balloting this time. There's just no way around it. But I mean, for those of you that are on the fence still, and I'm not talking to those of you that have like the whole, I've lost a son because of COVID argument, things like that. I'm not there. I can't even pretend to understand what you've gone through. I try to empathize with you, but for all the rest of you that are just like, well, she's just as bad as he is, really? Because I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be having all this terrorist protesting shit, and we wouldn't have hostages in freaking Hamas territory right now. Because in case you guys forgot, we were relatively at peace until China did some sketchy shit on purpose. You can't convince me anymore that it wasn't on purpose, because look at everything they've been doing.
Well, because Joe was bought and paid for.
Well, that's just it. You can't convince me anymore that it wasn't on purpose, because look at everything that they've been doing while we've been dealing with the fact that our commander-in-chief is incapacitated and nobody wanted to admit it. Have you seen some of the things they've done in the last 3 weeks? Because they're making power moves in Japan to piss people off. They just seized a ship somewhere in that same region. They're all over Taiwan's sea space and airspace. These are the same things they did before they invaded the 38th parallel. 70-something years ago. Because it worked the last time. Because we kept thinking we could make peace with them somehow or stop them from doing it. Until they sent like 500 million people over the border. And then we were like, oh shit, now what do we do? Don't know, but good luck. I mean, the thing about it is, and I say this more about the Chinese folks than I do about our own folks, but I'm starting to come around to everybody else's way of thinking. We need to really stop treating people that are from other countries, no matter where they currently are, that they think anything remotely like us, because they don't. It really is just that simple. That's half the problem that we're facing in this country now. We have been overrun by people who don't share our values, don't share our cultures, can't speak the language, and they're draining us of all of our resources while they prop themselves up and figure out how to start colonizing. Ilhan Omar herself and Rashida Tlaib too, I believe, both said that the Muslims that are in those areas that are voting for her and for those two didn't come here to assimilate. They came here to colonize. Does anybody remember what happened the last time people came here to colonize? The Native American population might like a word. This is the reason why we have the rules that we have in the first place. This is the reason why we set up our immigration system the way that we have. Because we used to be smart enough to learn from our mistakes. Now we make them on purpose because it makes us feel good. Kamala Harris just told everybody and has been telling everybody since 2020 that she wanted to basically make it to decriminalize crossing the border illegally.
Mm-hmm.
And this is now who the elite in the Democratic Party are putting at the top of the ticket.
Yep.
So I'm going to say what I've been saying. I don't know if we can win this thing or not at this point, but all I can say is you've got to fight like we're 60 points under, no matter what you're seeing in the polls, no matter what you're seeing in the streets, because I don't say this lightly, because everybody says this every 4 fucking years, but this one could be it. If we don't stop this time, there may not be anything left to fight for much longer, because especially if they try to do anything shady like they did 4 years ago, and managed to get away with it again to a lesser extent 2 years ago, then there may actually be a civil war at this point.
Well, I'll say if Americans keep getting treated to the desecration of our monuments, or I'll say Americans of a certain age or that live in certain geographies, that keeps happening, it's going to get ugly. And the boot will come down on us, not on them.
Oh, I know. All right. Well, believe it or not, we're just about out of time. Why don't you remind folks where they can find you?
You can find me at Scott's Fire on Twitter.
Not doing any writing or anything these days?
No, not really.
Okay, just checking. So, what about your other podcast with your other co-host?
Oh, and because everything's going to go to hell, Al and I do a podcast about how to do your own food.
And what is this podcast?
How to kill things, grow things, butcher things, render things. We do all the things.
And what is this podcast called?
It is called Playing in the Dirt. Because I think everybody would do a lot better if we all went out and touched some grass.
And when can you occasionally hear this particular broadcast?
Sometimes it's on a Thursday. Sometimes it's on a Sunday. Sometimes it's on a Wednesday. We try to put a notice out.
All right, so just pretty much a pop-up show once a month, right?
It's a pop-up show once, twice a month, depending on the season.
All right. Well, as far as me, you can find me here in just a minute, pushing buttons for the conservative curmudgeon, and I'll be here for the rest of the night hanging out in one form or another, so I'll be on shift until about 11 p.m. Eastern. Then I'll be back tomorrow afternoon doing the Rick Robinson Show, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. We do that one every Monday through Friday. And then tomorrow night, I don't know what we're doing because Jen's on vacation, so I may just do a pop-up Rails or something, or I may even just take the evening off because I've been working a lot, but I just jinxed it because now there'll be something else crazy in the news and I'll have to cover it. And then Friday night, I'll be back doing He Said, She Said with Aggie Reekin, 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here on KLR Radio. And then Saturday night, I'll be producing for the Talk Murder to Me crew, which for this week is Bumpstock Barbie and Bumpstock Ken as usual. They will be talking nature versus nurture with Zelda Homestead. Jesus. Zelda Gabriel. Jeez, I don't know. I got Jen and Zelda in my head. All right. And then Sunday, back around doing America Off the Rails, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then back around doing everything on Monday yet again. Because my name's Rick. I'm a workaholic. When I'm not doing all that stuff, you can find me as a contributor on twitchy.com, misfitspolitics.com, and theloftsparty.com. And I also produce the podcast over there that usually drops on Tuesday mornings at about 9 a.m. Eastern. And you can follow along with me on most social media platforms at RowdyRick73. Not sure how long we're going to stay there, but I just hit 10K today, so I just want to give everybody a shout out to all the new followers. I will probably piss you off soon, so if you decide to leave, I kind of understand. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. Got G coming up in just a couple minutes, so hang out, and we will be right back. Or I will be. Stacy won't be. But I'll be back with G. I'll remember what I'm saying in a second, I promise. All right, Stacy, we are as clear as we get doing it this way.
All right.
Have a great night, man.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
G.
What's up?
What up, sir? What up?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know shit. Actually, I do know one thing.
What's that?
This is my last week of 10-hour days.
Woohoo!
So I am excited about that.
That's a good thing, though.
I hate that shit.
All right. Speaking of which, I should warn you with the way we're doing things right now, you are hot on the video side. So just so you know.
So you're not seeing anything then?
No, I'm saying they can hear you.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I'm just making sure you know. So
Yeah. No, that's all good.
But yeah, I've figured out that doing things the way I've been trying to do them is costing me about an extra 45 minutes in and out. And I'm just like, it takes me that long to do the work on the back end. I might as well just do it that way.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Kind of,
Right?
kind of a pain in the ass trying to figure out all this new stuff. Besides, once we change over to 365 full time, it really won't matter too much because everything will basically being pushed out the same way. So I can start muting some things anyway, kind of like we do now. Not on the stream side. I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Gotcha.
But we get awesome numbers over here, so I don't really care.
Well, maybe it can finally launch me over 13K.
Hey, it got me to 10K. I've been stuck at like 9,500 or around there for forever, and then I started.
I've been 12.9 forever and ever, amen. And I'm trying to, I don't want to have parades of follows and empty shit like that. So, I'd like to get back to the 14.1 I had when they suspended me, but I know that a lot of that went out the window with the Great Purge, so that's fine. 13 would be good, though.
Well, I never thought I'd see 10. I don't think I'll be there for very long because I usually lose about 3 or 4 a day, but it's been nice to see you. I have people that follow me for a while and they're like, yeah, never mind, that guy sucks. Yeah, as an example, I'm already back below 10,000. I'm back down to 9,991. Or 99.
I get it, man. I get it. I battle that all the time.
Like, what the fuck? Why would you follow? I mean, I don't get it. Once I follow somebody, unless they just absolutely teetotally piss me off, like fucking Austin Peterson,
right?
I usually kind of leave them alone because, otherwise it's kind of a waste of time for me to follow them, but whatever.
Everyone can see and hear me. No, they can't.
They shouldn't. They can't see you because I would be able to see you.
They can hear me. That's fine.
Yeah, they can hear you.
That's what they're here for. They don't want to see me.
Yeah, no. I mean, I use camera now, but nobody has to.
Easy there.
Oh, never. That's weird. So I'm going to show you too. Wait, there we go. Maybe it will now. All right. So at least they can see something.
Yeah.
Kind of digging the black G there, bro. That's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah.
Oh crap. I think I just realized what they were trying to tell me. I guess we're out of commercials. All right, here we go.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening and welcome back to me. And welcome back to you too. It's been a little while since I've been here. I hope everybody is well. I hope there's an, but I'm going to talk anyway. So that's why we're here, those of us that are. So, like I said, it's been a minute. I miss doing this, so it hurts me when I'm away, and that's true. I do enjoy it, so I don't like missing. And Rick is very generous and gracious. He knows my summer schedule is pure hell, and ever since the little promotion, that's not gotten any better, only worse. So we're just having to live with it like it is for right now, and Like I said, this is my last week of that schedule. I go back to normal starting Monday, which means that I should be here for Toxic on Wednesday next week. It is Toxic next week, right?
Yes, sir. It's Toxic next week.
Yes, Toxic next week, because we do have a 31st. Okay, good. I guess that means I need to get busy on my other duty too then, huh? Okay.
Yep.
I will see what I can do. Anyway, there's a little bit to talk about. We got some things going on out there that just not kosher, Wow. I guess that's a great term to use today, considering what happened at the Capitol.
Where's all the anti-insurrection folks? That's my question.
Well, it's only applicable if it goes against their narrative. So, yeah, don't look for them to be jumping out anywhere anytime soon. Wow, where did my stuff saved all out of order.
I was gonna say you and Seymour having an argument again.
Well, here we go. So our first non-kosher item is actually kind of small, and I don't usually start with a small item, but for people that are trying to avoid the shitstorm that is politics right now, and there are plenty of people that are trying to avoid it. It's very difficult, mind you. But there was an occurrence yesterday that freaked a lot of people out at Yellowstone National Park. And I thought I might give a little bit of insight on that. I happen to know somebody who is a geologist and spoke with him about it. And turns out that there was a hydrothermal explosion that sent rock and steam spewing into the air north of Old Faithful. There were no injuries, they say, and the extent of the damage from the blast, which occurred in the Biscuit Basin, which is about 2 miles northwest of Old Faithful, at around 20 after 10 in the morning, was unknown. So the type of explosion that happened involves hot water and results in the rapid ejection of boiling water, steam, mud, rock fragments. This is not, and I repeat, not a volcanic eruption of any kind. This is not induced by the caldera. Hydrothermal explosions happen when water at or near the boiling point beneath the ground rapidly turns into steam because of a drop in pressure. And it's just not something that, you don't have to freak out. This is not the super volcano. So, they happen actually quite frequently in Yellowstone. It just is that there hasn't been one at the Biscuit Basin since 2009. The Norris Geyser Basin had an explosion also, not yesterday, but it's actually relatively common in Yellowstone at different points. Most of those points do not have boardwalks for people to walk out on. They usually install those in quiet, dormant areas. So I'm sure there will be a long study of what happened at Biscuit Basin and do they consider it safe to put a boardwalk back up there. But for all the people yesterday that I saw that were just like, get ready, here it comes. No, it's not. It's really not. So, if you were thinking of that at all, as opposed to dwelling on the shit show of politics, please do not dwell on it any longer. Do your homework. Don't always take my word for it. I mean, you can, because I'm not going to pass along bullshit to you. But this is the truth. So for what it's worth, that is what happened at Yellowstone yesterday. Now, ding dong, the witch is gone, right? Kimberly Cheadle resigned. She was going to be fired. I think she finally grasped that they weren't going to take no for an answer. And, she's got a nice fat pension. She's got her years in with federal service. This is a woman who made her way up through the Secret Service and made it to, we'll call it upper middle management as far as agent status goes. And she passed the Obama fealty test back in the day. And that's what fast-tracked her to the director's chair. It is more than fair to call her a Democrat loyalist, although I'm not sure that after yesterday that is still applicable. But I'm willing to bet that she is still a leftist, and she will always be a leftist. That's what got her job. That's what got her promoted. And in the end, it's what got her fired. Even the left turned on her. Is it fair? Yeah, it is. Even hard leftist, Obama loyalist Ro Khanna from California questioned Cheadle and said, when Reagan was shot, the director of the Secret Service, his name was whatever it was. He said, "Do you know what he did the next day?" And she replied, "Came to work." And he said, "Yes, to resign." The writing was on the wall. She was gone one way or the other. So don't feel bad for her. Her pension is about $50K a year. And she is still young enough to work at other places. I'm sure BlackRock has something available for her. She'll cash in. Don't feel bad. She's going to be fine. No, you don't get rich working Secret Service. You do not. A $50,000 a year pension. I mean, you think about it now. Could you live off $50,000? It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. When she is of age, I don't know how old she is. I don't think she's of age for Social Security yet, though. That'll add some to it. But it's very different. Quite frankly, I think my pension's a little better than hers, but I've got people sending me stuff live during the show, and it's just crazy. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, the Secret Service has encouraged Trump's campaign to stop scheduling large outdoor rallies or other outdoor events with big crowds after the assassination attempt. In the aftermath of the shooting, agents for the Secret Service communicated their concerns about large outdoor rallies going forward. The people familiar with the matter, they said they didn't want to release their names, so they're doing the anonymity thing. I hate that. I hate it with a frickin' passion. I wish reporters weren't allowed to do that. That should be a journalism standard. If you can't name a source, you can't cite a source. Bam, just like that. That's how it should be. But anyway, Trump's campaign said that they are not currently planning any large outdoor events, so that was not a problem at this point. A Trump campaign spokeswoman declined to comment further. Spokesman for the Secret Service said that the agency does not comment on its protective methods. Well, you commented on the live TV. Your boss did. Sort of, kind of. I don't know that you would call a lot of those methods protective, but whatever. Trump has held hundreds of outdoor rallies since launching his first presidential bid. He likes to brag about the crowds. He gets off on it. I think more so than even ego, I think he feeds off the energy. I think if it was a listless crowd like what you saw Biden drawing, I think Trump would be very different. He would be withdrawn. And not that he doesn't have an ego, because God knows he does. But I think it all works synergistically. He feeds off their energy. They make him feel good, and he in turn feels good because of that. So yeah, I mean, it just goes. But who could blame him if he didn't want to schedule any more large outdoor venues at this point? Being an inch from having the back of his head taken off. So, I don't know. It's so strange. Secret Service, this was an utter failure. And quite frankly, I don't know how you redeem the image of the Secret Service in the eyes of Americans after watching an utter failure like that, unless there's another attempt and they are just so ready and prepared for it. And you don't want that. You don't want another attempt on anybody. I just don't know how they redeem themselves. I mean, you can say, oh, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, but what does it mean? Until you see it in action and until you see it come to fruition, what does it all mean? I don't know if the gentleman that they appointed as the interim head is going to end up being the permanent head. His record sounds amazing. I would hope that they at least give him a shot at it. But the Secret Service is part of the executive. So who's going to be making that hire? Officially, it'll be Joe, but unofficially, it'll be Kamala. Because she's going to make her pick, and Joe's going to sign the letter, and that's going to be the end of it. Or is Joe going to sign the letter? Are they going to have AI sign Joe's letter for him, much like they did his withdrawal letter? Did anybody else find it weird that it wasn't on presidential letterhead?
I also found it weird that a couple of handwriting and analysis people were like, that doesn't even look like his signature.
They said that they used AI to compare it to the official documents that he had signed over the last months, and it wasn't close to any of them. I find that very, very odd.
Well, can I put my tinfoil hat on for a second?
Yes, you certainly may.
Was I the only one who was weirded out about how much more quickly the Joe Biden post-COVID was moving when he was on camera yesterday for the first time in 5 days? Not to mention the fact that for the first time in months, they let him use the big boy stairs.
Well, I mean, they've got him juiced right now. Because they knew they were going to have him make an appearance.
Even when he was juiced, though, the last time they tried to have him use the big boy stairs, he had to stop 3 times. That's why they started using the little boy stairs.
Well, yeah, but you get them in the morning and you get them on the juice, and you just might get 2 good hours out of them.
Speaking of which, apparently the address that I wasn't sure if you wanted us to live stream while you're talking or not, was apparently pre-recorded. So that's fun.
The address was pre-recorded.
Yep.
Oh, weird.
So yeah, apparently this was actually recorded sometime yesterday from what I'm seeing, and is being broadcast now.
Oh, so it's not a live address.
I mean, it's being carried live by everybody, but apparently it was in the can. So
okay, yeah. So because I mean it's 20 after 8 in DC. God knows he's been asleep for 4 hours already. Got his ice cream and his pudding and went to bed. But yeah, it's just that's even weirder. I mean, they said he was coming out to address the nation. You don't address the nation with a canned. That's bullshit. I mean, it just is. The whole thing is bullshit.
The whole thing is bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was a Democrat, I would be so pissed, dude.
Well, and some of them are.
Well, I mean, if they are, they need to speak the fuck up because I actually have, and we'll skip ahead right now because one of the stories I had written up was how BLM has already spoken up against Kamala Harris being the nominee, and they cited her work in California where she illegally extended prison sentences of black men and used them for slave labor. So how about that? BLM coming out against Kamala. Well, yeah, I talked about that a little bit with Stacey earlier. I don't know how long that's going to hold, but it was interesting to see. If I was a Democrat and I went through the primary process and I voted for my candidate, even if I didn't vote for Joe, I would be really pissed that all of a sudden they were wanting a do-over. The same thing almost happened to us in 2016, and I was like, no.
Well, and here's the thing too. Go back to the very beginning of primary season. Remember when the DCCC rigged the primaries to keep RFK and Marianne from getting into states early ahead of Joe?
Well, yeah, no. Well,
I mean, how do you tell RFK, sorry, he's out, but you can't get back in?
Well, I think honestly by that point it was because he'd already started his campaign as an independent anyway.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean
that, and for some reason he's the outsider for everybody. I mean, for some reason even most of his family doesn't seem to like him.
Yeah,
but I mean, it goes back even further than that though, because they did the same thing to Bernie Sanders in 2016.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton wasn't supposed to be the nominee based on if they ran their conventions the same way we run our conventions. Hillary Clinton wouldn't have been the nominee. It would have been Bernie Sanders. But because he was actually ahead, they gave her all the superdelegates, which automatically made her ahead.
Of course. And that's Obama hasn't endorsed her yet.
I don't know. I know
I'm just saying not everybody is thrilled that it's going to be Kamala. And I think that Obama looks at it like he knows what a screw up she is.
Well, all I know is it may not matter because if everybody keeps coming out and posting things like I saw yesterday after her first official speech as a candidate, when they were like, oh my God, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's more articulate than Obama. I was like, y'all better tone it down or he's going to be inviting her to go kayaking.
Well, I was going to say the media is going to fawn over her because that's their agenda. I mean, they're going to push left no matter what. But I'm just saying that there are people on the left that are not so open and ready for this.
But no, it's just interesting to me because if it does wind up being Harris and she actually becomes one of the only second female nominees for president in Democratic history, Hillary's not going to stand for that,
I know she'll. Yeah, I mean, Hillary is all smiles and grins and behind her right now, but that could be a front for becoming number 56 on the Arkansas list.
I think that number's probably higher.
Well, it probably is, but there's 56 that I can officially tie to her. And if I can tie that many to her, you can bet it's higher than that.
But no,
remember, we did a 2-hour show on that.
Oh no, I remember. But no, I mean, it's just like I've seen people that, coming out of the RNC were more jazzed about our prospects than ever, and now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, voting's an illusion and so is choice and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, you were just freaking like rock starring it up like just last week. That feels like 12 days ago. I was like, well, it was only 3.
Yeah.
Biden was the nominee until 3 days ago. And I get it. Everybody's like watching the media fawn all over Harris and starting to tell you what a wonderful human being she is and everything else. But we have all of the ammunition that we need. Hell, Glenn Beck just put out a piece today talking about the 13 things that you may not remember about Kamala Harris,
right?
Which makes her as a total lunatic. So just quit worrying about the fact that she slept with Willie Brown. Quit worrying about calling her heels up Harris. You don't have to attack her in that way.
No.
Attack her for her record.
Yes,
that's where she needs to be attacked in.
Yeah, her record is terrible.
Exactly. I mean, and even Trump, his rally today, I caught a few minutes of it before I had to come in here with Stacey, was talking about, well, everybody says I'm a changed man since the shooting, but is it all right if I'm not nice? And I'm thinking, no, it's not all right if you're not nice. And then he did it anyway. And I'm just he didn't really do what I thought he was going to do, at least a little bit of it that I heard.
Yeah.
But again, I get everybody's pissed off because the left is like, the second you say DEI hire just proves you're a racist, because we all know that's the new N-word. No, it's the new word for incompetence.
So stupid.
That's what that is. But so everybody on the right's like, just be careful about how you talk about her because otherwise we're going to lose. And I'm like, just focus on what a screw up she is.
Absolutely.
It's not hard.
Just the border itself is enough, because that's still a huge issue for a lot of voters.
Did you see that Axios had to put out a retraction today?
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, I've seen their original piece too about the czar piece.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Long time. What's the word I'm looking for? Crap, I don't know. Long time Twitter friend and mutual follow back and forth. Eddie Zipperer. He hemmed it up really nicely on his page. He was telling people that czar is not an official title. It's just a name given to somebody that's put in charge of doing something. And he's like, quit arguing semantics and tell me why we should be discussing her seriously with her utter failure with the issue at hand and not the title.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it just makes perfect sense. He's a smart guy. If you don't follow him, you should. So, and it is. It's just like it sounds. Zipperer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Eddie's a cool dude. So, I just I don't get it. One of the other analogies I saw was right now Kamala Harris is like the Disney previews of the next Star Wars. Everybody's in love with it until it comes out and it gets a 38 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Brad saw that last night, was kind of falling all over himself. He's like, I absolutely love this take. I'm like,
oh my God, it was great. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much shit just flowing out there that I can't stand it hardly. But, hey, I know it's, well, did I not? Where did I do this? Do-do-do. Do-do-do. I have, hey, let's, bottom of the hour, let's go take a break. And let me find my ass. I'll use both hands in a road map. And
I would say a magnifying glass, but I'm pretty sure you can see it from space. Just kidding.
Pretty sure.
Through some hoops, wanna get my body loose, wanna tell you what to do. I've been running out of bounds like an animal struggling, looking for a diamond. I'm trying, I'm fighting, riding in the rhythm now. I just wanna stay all night, wanna stay all night with you. Just wanna stay up all night with you. Just wanna stay up all night with you.
All right, we're good for about 4.
Okay. I see what happened here. In the copying and pasting, I lost the first paragraph to one story and it just butted up against the other without a break.
Damn it, Seymour.
Yeah. Sometimes he's an idiot.
This is why you can't find good help and pay him take-ems.
Yeah, no shit, right? Oh, God.
By the way, just so you know, you have 111 listening right now.
Wow.
That's
All right.
actually low. That's actually low for us lately. We've usually been hitting between 2 and 3.
Well, everybody's tuned into Biden's address, so.
I think it's over now.
Oh, well, and they're not jumping back in the middle, so.
Oh, they're starting to trickle back in because you were only sitting at like 98 a minute ago.
Well, there's that. I'll take whatever it is. I'm fine.
Yeah, it looks like it was over about 10 minutes ago, so they should actually.
Pretty short address, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, most of his appearances lately have been like 20 minutes long.
Yeah. Well, that's about all they can get out of him. So.
And I mean, he's already Dear John the country. What the hell else does he need to say?
There you go. That's exactly right.
It's not you, it's me. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I don't know how we got here.
Yeah, because I wanted to talk about Menendez for a minute too, or maybe even a little longer than a minute.
Oh, you mean the guy with the last name that should have made him really good at money laundering, but he wasn't? I tweeted that out the other day. I was like, how the hell does a guy with the last name Menendez not know how to launder money? Come on now.
Well, there you go.
Dude, it literally sounds like there's a modem on the call with us.
What's that?
It literally sounds like there's like an old school AOL modem on the call with us.
Oh, that's weird.
It just randomly keeps coming in. It's like,
I'm not hearing that.
It's probably something on my side. My modem has been being fucking retarded.
I'm surprised mine hasn't tonight. We've been getting storms here the last couple days. Oh, we got, this doesn't really affect my job at all, but one of the buildings that's getting ready to open, the HVAC people did not finish grounding their systems and scattered during a storm yesterday, and it took a direct hit. This place is supposed to open in a week and a half, and it is it's supposed to house like 1,000 workers with no AC now.
Oh boy.
Structured wiring is perfectly fine, thank you very much. Telecom is perfectly fine, thank you much. Yeah. But HVAC, boy, they gotta, I don't even know if they can get another unit that size, because this building it's monstrous. And it's only 2 stories. Well, actually it's 3 stories, but the top floor is like, workspace, attic, crawl, yada yada. But 2 stories, and it's spread out probably. I don't know. I think it's almost like a
All
little S shape
Coming back.
coming back.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, we are back. Hey, top of the hour, Rick. Is there a red wine tonight?
Actually, red wine is now moved to Mondays. That's how long you've been gone.
Okay, that's right. Red wine is. You did tell me that before. It's just habits die hard. Is there anything after me tonight?
Actually, there will be me probably taking apart Biden's speech because we don't have anything on in that hour. So
Okay. So there you go. Stay tuned for that because Rick will make you smarts. He'll give you some good stuff. And I guess that no nightcap after that. That'll be it.
no, there should be a Rick and Orty afterwards. He was hanging out in the chat earlier.
Rick and Orty, Orty, get your ass tight. Let's go. Finish up that Circle K business and get ready. All right. So the other thing that's happened in the news, and I called this. I called it. First of all, Senator Bob Menendez was found guilty on his corruption and bribery charges. I think there were like 16 different charges. Found guilty on all counts. And as soon as it happened, and I mean, they didn't waste a minute because I knew it was going to be this way, and they're going to use it on the campaign trail too. Schumer started pushing for him to resign, telling him to save himself being expelled. And after a day or so of thinking about it, I don't even think it took a full day. Menendez announced that he is going to resign from the Senate effective August 20th. And he said he chose that date to give his staff time to transition to other possibilities and transfer constituent files that are pending and allow for an orderly process to choose an interim replacement and for me to close out my Senate affairs, he said. He turned his letter in that he will exercise his duty to make temporary appointment. That's Governor Murphy in Jersey. So that's going to be a Democrat for a Democrat. There's no way Murphy's going to appoint a Republican. So we will not pick up a Senate seat there right now. But hopefully, maybe a Republican can run and in Jersey and get elected. They've had Republican governors. Why not Republican senators? It'd be refreshing to see. 2 sources familiar with the whole matter said that Menendez had informed some of his staff of his resignation plans and his departure date, reported, yada, yada. Menendez had begun calling allies, telling them he would step down from the Senate after his July 16th conviction for accepting bribes, including gold bars, cash, for official actions to benefit Qatar and Egypt. He is to be sentenced October 29th, but has vowed to appeal. So, this is what I called on the day that they convicted him, is that the Democrats would move swiftly to make him the sacrificial lamb so that they could turn around and say, this is what we do to our felons, and Republicans send theirs to D.C. So it hasn't happened just yet. I haven't seen that yet, but here it comes. You can bank on it. Menendez is also under investigation by the Senate Ethics Committee, which said in a statement Monday that it had initiated an adjudicatory review, a required step before making a recommendation to the full Senate to expel or otherwise discipline a senator. I don't know that they continue that because the Senate is not going to, any kind of jail him or anything like that. I think all they would do is kick him out and refer him for charges which he's already been convicted of. So I don't know if they should even bother continuing with that or not. The committee said it had notified Menendez and his attorneys that the committee unanimously voted to open the review. Menendez cited the probe as one of the reasons he was resigning. He said, quote, "While I fully intend to appeal the jury's verdict all the way and including to the Supreme Court, I do not want the Senate to be involved in a lengthy process that will detract from its important work," he said. So he's playing the line here, there's no doubt. Representative Andy Kim, not the singer, no, forget that, Gen X, not the singer, is running for Menendez's seat in November against Republican Curtis Bashaw. Menendez filed to run for re-election as an independent, saying he would continue the campaign if exonerated. I don't see that happening anytime before November. Menendez served as mayor of Union City, New Jersey, and in the state legislature before being elected to Congress in 92. 92. After serving in the House, he became a senator in 2006 and rose to become the chairman of the powerful Foreign Relations Committee. Nod, nod, wink, wink. It's from that perch, and as the ranking member on the panel when Republicans controlled the Senate, that he provided favors to foreign governments in exchange for bribes, jurors found. The New Jersey senator was charged in a separate corruption case that ended in a mistrial in 2018. He had also denied wrongdoing in that case. And the fact of the matter is that you can go back to Obama's time in office, and this son of a bitch should have been thrown in jail for being a pedophile. You talk about Epstein's Island and client list. Menendez was careful not to associate with Epstein, but he had a doctor friend who had a private island off the Dominican Republic, and Menendez and his doctor friend were known to take private flights with underage girls and be at that private island with underage girls. Again, nothing that ever made it into official court cases, but this guy is not somebody that can be trusted, and he will drop his appeal, is my guess. I don't think he will appeal to the Supreme Court. They probably wouldn't hear it anyway. So there's that too. Now scrolling. We talked about Black Lives Matter, being angry with Kamala. Now here's a related story to that though, because this was good. In New York City, there is a radio show, a hip hop radio show called The Breakfast Club. It's a radio show / podcast. And they were discussing Vice President Kamala Harris. And I think to the surprise of the host, he had several callers that were not thrilled about Kamala. So the first caller says, quote, "Okay, so first let me say I'm so happy to see a woman running for president, and I'm grateful for that," a caller named Iris said. "However, I was on the fence even with Biden running again because everyone talks about, oh, let's get the black vote. Let's get the black vote. And they get the black vote and nothing changes. And when I say nothing, I mean our education system, our children, our public schools, our services available. My brother is a paraplegic. He was hit by a drunk driver, and it is very difficult for him to get any services." Iris continued on this path before switching lanes and changing to illegal immigration. And she said, "I understand that they allow the migrants to come in, but they come in and just overwhelm them with services and forget about the people who are already here that need those services. What are they going to do with the Black agenda to help our children that are struggling in New York City public schools? Iris is all over the place, but she's right about everything. She says they're not even on the same level as other kids in other countries, and that's my concern. So this is something that has to change. Like she said, help me out. We're confused here. Wow. So another caller. Wow, let's see. The border crisis could worsen under Harris if she becomes president, as her past voting record in the Senate, remarks she has made about federal immigration authorities, and moves she has made while vice president indicate a sharp move to the left. Here we go. Another quote from the show. I don't think America is ready for a female president. You know what? I'm a Black man, and I absolutely do not want another Democrat in there. This caller's name is Kali, C-A-L-I. Kali is a he, though. He's a Black man. He said, I think we should give the Republicans another try. There's a lot of agendas that the Democrat Party has put into place that I don't support. I think they're destroying the Black family. I think they're ruining our country. If you're living in New York like I am, man, this place is a financial nightmare, not to mention the crime. I think if we put Trump back in there, it's going to be amazing. Kamala cannot do what he's going to do to bring this country back to where it needs to be, he added. And this is not a race thing, because that's the number one thing they like to say when they talk about Trump, is how he's a criminal and blah, 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 and a racist and a fascist. I don't think any of that matters. His policies that had us on the right path are what matters, and that's what we need to go back to, and Kamala is not ready. These are Black Americans living in New York City calling into a hip-hop podcast radio show trashing Kamala Harris and the Democrats. I don't know what these polls are that they keep posting that's showing that Kamala is either neck and neck or a point ahead or 1 point behind. I just don't see how this kind of thing can be going on and those polls be accurate. Now, yes, I know these are only a couple of examples, but you know, when you talk about a 4-hour radio show / podcast, I could probably cite you dozens more over the course of that show. I don't have them, but I bet I could find them. But, you know, let's get to the reality of it. The fact is from day one, both Biden and Harris have made it clear that this was a quote unquote joint administration. She is going to have to answer for all the policies that have been enacted under this administration. And just as an example of that, this administration's latest job report is another example of how all that glitters is not gold. What looked like 206,000 jobs added to the economy were actually less than half that, with terrible internal dynamics to go with it, all while the labor market ominously flashed a recession warning sign with a perfect 50-year track record. More than half the payrolls that businesses allegedly added in June were simply replacing jobs that they thought had already been replaced but had not. Both May and April jobs numbers were revised downward by nearly 100,000 each, making June's growth anemic. 1/3 of the jobs added in June were in government, within spitting distance to Soviet levels of employment composition, considering it takes many private sector jobs to support a government worker who produces nothing. A 2-to-1 ratio is nowhere near enough. For that matter, even if 10 times as many private sector jobs were added, it still wouldn't create enough tax revenue to support the number of public sector jobs being added, making the current job market trend unsustainable. Of course, those are just direct hires by the government, not all the new jobs paid for with taxpayer dollars, the welfare industrial complex. To illustrate, when the government gives money to a hospital for a migrant care that hires a nurse, this new job is also taxpayer funded. Adding these indirect hires to the direct government hires shows that about 60% of new jobs are paid for by you and I, the taxpayer. It worsens when you look at the composition of full-time and part-time jobs. June saw 30,000 full-time jobs evaporate, replaced by part-time work. This is not a new phenomenon, but an ongoing trend. In the last year, the economy has hemorrhaged 1.6 million full-time jobs, replacing them with 1.8 million part-time jobs. This matters. It matters because part-time jobs are overwhelmingly for economic reasons. People would rather work full-time, stable jobs, but when those aren't available, they'll take what they can get, replacing a 9-to-5 with 2 or more part-time gigs. A consistent income stream has been replaced by several volatile ones. This helps explain why the number of payrolls has continued to rise substantially, while the number of people employed has not. Employment has fallen by 667,000 since last November, which has caused the unemployment rate to rise from 3.7% to 4.1%, nearly triggering the dreaded SAM rule, which indicates a recession has likely begun. This indicator is not to be taken lightly. It hasn't had a false positive since 1976 and has signaled the start of every recession since 1970. That's even sugarcoating it, though. The unemployment rate is still artificially low because millions of Americans are simply missing from the labor market. The reason? When the government imposed draconian lockdowns in 2020, millions of people dropped out of work and many never returned. They were either close enough to retirement to limp their way there and they're just done. These people, even though these people didn't have jobs, they weren't counted as unemployed since they were not actively looking for one. That reduced the unemployment rate without creating a single job. The number of missing workers today is between 4.9 and probably closer to 7.3 million. If these people who don't have jobs were accounted for, then the unemployment rate would be between 6.8 and 8.1%. And that, my friends, is deep recession territory. And lastly, if there's any doubt that the American labor market isn't working for Americans, consider that literally all the net job growth over the last year went to foreign-born workers, while native-born Americans lost over 900,000 jobs. Fewer people are employed today than before the pandemic, while their inflation-adjusted earnings are down almost 4% on average, with inflation up. Yeah. As Congress's big spenders keep fueling inflation and crowding out the productive private sector, the infamous stagflation of the 70s is about to rear its ugly head, and that means more job losses are to come. In short, the radical left has turned the American labor market into a temp agency for foreigners while creating a record number of government jobs. And that stings, people. That burns my ass more than anything. I can deal with all the fascism going on within the Democrat Party, even though they refuse to call it what it actually is. Rick and I touched on it earlier, and that's exactly what it is. They're forcing a candidate down your throat, Democrats that you did not vote for, and do not care whether you are, wanting her or not. They're going to force you to take her, and you either vote for her or you vote for Trump. Teach them a lesson. Stand up for yourselves. And right now, it is time for the patent pending G's happy ending. 2 boaters escaped with their lives off the coast of New Hampshire after a whale breached and capsized their vessel in a dramatic spectacle that was captured on video, according to the U.S. Coast Guard on Tuesday. The boaters, who were essentially catapulted into the Atlantic after the giant mammal breached and struck the back end of their 23-foot vessel, were rescued by 2 teenage Good Samaritans. The incident occurred on Odiorn Point State Park in Rye, New Hampshire. Yeah, I think I did that right. Video shows the whale breaching the water and striking the rear of the boat. At least one of the boaters is seen plunging into the water after a short trip through the air. Colin Yeager, who captured the video, told NBC News that after the whale breached, he and his brother picked up the boaters and were flung into the ocean. According to the Coast Guard, no injuries were reported, and the rescued boaters said that they were grateful to the Good Samaritans for taking such quick action to the rescue. And, the Coast Guard also added that the whale appeared to be uninjured as they followed it. And they even salvaged the boat. God bless America, right? If you can't be happy about teenagers springing into action saving grown adults, what the hell's wrong with you? So if that's not a happy ending, I don't know what one is. And that's the show.
Has been G's happy ending, patent pending.
Giggity, giggity.
The ending is patent pending. Well, friends, that's the show. If you like it, tell your friends. If they like it, you need new ones. But they and you are welcome right here with me on KLRN Radio on Wednesday nights for the Conservative Curmudgeon Show. I'm your host, The Grouch. Peace.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Here's to us, here's to love, all the times that we messed up. Here's to you, feel the grass, cause the last few nights have kicked my ass. If they give you hell, it's time to fuck themselves. Here's to us, here's to us, here's to us, here's to us. To us.
All right, man. We're as clear as we get.
All right, brother. Well, be good. Have a good nightcap there, and I'll holler at you later.
All right, man. Have a great night.
We'll see you.
All right. Bye. All right, for those of you hanging out on the stream side, we are still live. We're hanging out. We'll be here basically for the next 2 hours still. So commercials are playing in the background. I'll be taking apart Biden's speech here in just a little bit, and then Ordy and I should be on here shortly, hopefully. So hang out. We're going to do, I guess, a bonus America Off the Rails. So stay tuned. Z and her naps, I swear. All right. Anyway. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring the sound up since it's just me now so I don't miss my cues. So sorry, guys, you get some commercials.
05-917-5200 or visit us at McIntyreLaw.com.
Today, this breakfast isn't just breakfast. It might be the first McDonald's breakfast you're having at McDonald's again. This lunch might be a weekly tradition you hadn't had in weeks. And this dinner might be the first one you bought for not just you in a while. Whatever this order is for you, McDonald's will be here to take it.
Get more of the chicken you love with a delicious McChicken sandwich for $1. And for an extra buck, add a refreshing Dr. Pepper. Dining rooms are starting to reopen in certain communities at participating McDonald's. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
I am Conor McGregor, multiple weight MMA champion. I'm a fighter and I've been through many battles in the octagon. Many consider my fights in the octagon heroic, but the real life heroes are those men and women who fight to protect us every day. The real life fighters, the real life heroes are the firefighters and police officers. These first responders are true heroes because these brave men and women put themselves in the line of danger every single day protecting us all. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation ensures that first responders from fire, EMS and police departments who are killed in the line of duty with young children have a home without the burden of a mortgage. They are my heroes. They need our help today. I'd like to ask you to join me in donating $11 a month to support their efforts. Your $11 a month honors and supports our first responders. Please call now at 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors. We're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
And happy Wednesday evening. It is Chat Lives Matter Night. We're about 3/4 of the way through with it. I'm Rick Robinson. This is a bonus episode of America Off the Rails because we've got some things to discuss. Sorry, apparently my mic stand is being a little cranky. Bear with me for just a second. And it's still going to be cranky. So okay, that works well enough. All right. So we've got some things to discuss. Sorry, I haven't been on camera for the last little bit, so I'm really worried about making sure things were centered. All right, so we're here, we're live, and without further ado, you guys have probably seen this, but we're going to kind of do the whole poli-sci 11th EMK kind of thing and kind of take this apart, put it back together, and poke fun because I've already been seeing some things while I've been doing some other work. So in case you missed it, Here's the pre-recorded, highly edited presidential address from the soon-to-be former president, Joe Biden. I guess I need to make sure the volume's up, because I don't think it is. Yeah, maybe it was. Oh, it wasn't. Here we go.
This is a Fox News alert. You are looking live on this summer evening at the White House as we await President Biden's address to the nation, his first since his decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race. Good evening, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum at Fox News World Headquarters in New York.
Good evening, Martha. I'm Brett Baer on the north lawn of the White House.
I thought I had it campaign for him to start talking.
I would love to see
about his 5 months.
I missed something, or
the first. President Biden will give an address from the Oval Office, the fourth such address in his presidency. The first since stepping down from the presidential race. He'll speak shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
So let's get some analysis from our panel. Fox News Chief.
I had it in the right
office, President Joe Biden.
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that guide this nation. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice. Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office, but I love my country more. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think it's more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. We can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now
to kill democracy to
determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate, between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy?
Talk to people about honesty.
In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that?
Traitor to the American
Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions because I know you, the American people. And I know this. We are a great nation because we are good people. When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth. And the truth, the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, the cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. But there's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. That time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy, I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism. Make it clear there is no place in America for political violence or any violence ever, period. I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence. Our planet from climate crisis is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. And I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy, Supreme Court reform. You know, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong and secure and the leader of the free world. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. We'll keep rallying a coalition of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine and doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger,
proxy wars, Joe.
and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history. I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. And that's not the case anymore. And I'm going to keep working to end the war in Gaza, bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war. We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly detained all around the world.
How's that going?
We've come so far since my inauguration.
Because, you know, we used to go and
on that day I told you, as I stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities. We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in a century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Oh, so
we came together as Americans.
Anybody want to talk about J30?
We got through it.
Or maybe J24?
We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure. Today we have the strongest economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record. Wages are up.
I'm confused.
Inflation continues to come down. The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America. We're leading the world again in chips and science and innovation.
We are.
We finally beat Big Pharma after all these years to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors. And I'm going to keep fighting to make sure we lower the cost for everyone, not just seniors. More people have health care today in America than ever before. And I signed one of the most significant laws helping millions of veterans and their families who are exposed to toxic materials. You know, most significant climate law ever in the history of the world. The first major gun safety law in 30 years. And today, the violent crime rate is at a 50-year low. We're also securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than when the previous administration left office. I've kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
No, because I have his volume too high.
I also kept my commitment
an auto duck thing
to have an administration that looks like America and be a president for all Americans. That's what I've done. I ran for president 4 years ago because I believed and still do that the soul of America was at stake. The very nature of who we are was at stake. And that's still the case. America's an idea. An idea stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It's the most powerful idea in the history of the world. That idea is that we hold these truths to be self-evident. We're all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We've never fully lived up to it, to this sacred idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I do not believe the American people will walk away from it now. In just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known. I would like to thank our great Vice President Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country. Now the choice is up to you, the American people. When you make that choice, remember the words of Benjamin Franklin hanging on my wall here in the Oval Office, alongside the busts of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Cesar Chavez. When Ben Franklin was asked, as he emerged from the convention going on,
for a friend,
whether the founders have given America a monarchy or republic, Franklin's response was a republic, if you can keep it. A republic,
That's not the
if
quote,
you can
Joe.
keep it. Whether we keep our republic is now in your hands.
If it's right behind
My
you,
fellow
you probably
Americans,
should have
it's
read
been
it
the
before you
privilege
said it, because
of
that's
my
not the
life
quote, you old bastard.
to serve this nation for over 50 years.
Close.
Nowhere else on earth could a kid with a stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, one day sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. But here I am. That's what's so special about America. We're a nation of promise and possibilities, of dreamers and doers,
Has he mentioned
of
why he's
ordinary
doing that?
Americans doing extraordinary things.
Anybody heard that part?
I've given my heart and my soul to our nation, like so many others. I've been blessed
Your soul for your
a million times in return with the love and support of the American people. I hope you have some idea how grateful I am to all of you. The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule, the people do.
Barack Obama does.
History is in your hands. The power is in your hands. The idea of America lies in your hands. You just have to keep faith, keep the faith. And remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's simply nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. So let's
Except for
act
holding the
together.
primary.
Preserve our democracy. God bless you all. And may God protect our troops. Thank you.
I have questions.
President Biden in the
I have
Oval Office.
lots of questions because I was pretty sure that Sideshow Bob said we were going to get answers as to why he was leaving the campaign but not leaving office. I have so many questions, none of which this answered. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. I have tons of questions now. I have more questions than I had before I listened to this. Like, first of all, are we sure that was even him? Just being honest. None of what we said, none of what we were told was in that speech was going to be in that speech. We were supposed to get answers as to why he Dear John the country, just to come back a few days later and give us a pre-recorded address. We were supposed to find out why he chose to leave his campaign but not leave the office, because I'm sorry, if you're not fit enough to run for office, you're definitely not fit enough to run the country. But let me explain to you why they're doing everything they can to keep Kamala in the position that she is in. Because if she actually assumes the role of president, then they don't have a tiebreaker vote in the Senate anymore. This is part of the reason why they're keeping her where they are. Also, because in the event that she wins, they think it's going to be absolutely glorious that she gets to be the one to certify her own electoral college votes. Also, a bit of tinfoil hat moment, but if she doesn't win, how much do you want to bet she tries not to certify Trump's vote? I'm telling you, there's like an entire thing going on here that doesn't make any sense until you start looking at all of the different layers of everything that they've just done. They have tossed out 14.5 million votes while telling you that they only care about democracy. But as Stacey said in when we were doing the Whatever show, democracy means something different to us than it does to them. Democracy means they win. That's what their democracy means. Also, another way to look at it is anytime they start talking about a threat to democracy, you might as well change it out with a threat to their power base, because that's really what they're talking about. That's why they started coming unglued after the debate. I don't think Joe Biden was ever supposed to debate Donald Trump, if I'm being completely honest. He slipped up when he went on, I believe it was the Howard Stern show. I'll debate him anywhere, any place, anytime. And then all of a sudden he had to. And I guarantee you, everybody in his staff was having a cow. You guys realize that he hasn't met with his cabinet in almost 2 years? I need you to understand that. The man who is supposed to be running this entire country, the man who is the de facto ruler of the entire free world because everyone else defers to us or used to, hasn't even met with his cabinet since October of 2021. Was it 21 or 22? I don't remember. All I know is either way, it's been 2 years or over since they've had any kind of a meeting. As I believe it was Dana Perino said, I would love to get a look at their text messages as far as folks inside the cabinet, because they have to be beside themselves. I mean, again, this goes back to everything that we've been asking now for weeks. Who's running the country? Where are they? Who's pushing the buttons? Who's keeping things on track? We know it's not Buttigieg. She couldn't do it to save his life. Kamala can't do it now. She's too busy campaigning for president. Was she doing it before? Was she part of the cabal doing it before? Why are so many Democrats okay with being confirmed to be part of a party that's become an oligarchy? I thought they hated those things. Doesn't make any sense from where I'm sitting. But here we are. But just like most every other times, not everything does make sense. It's just the truth of it. Nothing makes sense until you start looking at all of the bits and pieces. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a setup. Somebody behind the scenes decided it was time for Joe Biden to go. Probably shortly after he decided to declare to the world that he was going to debate Donald Trump. And then they started putting all the pieces in place to prove to you exactly how broken he was. Because they knew if they left him alone long enough, he would prove it for you. Look at what he did during the summit. Had to be steered back to the rest of the group by the Italian prime minister. Look what he did at the fundraiser that even George Clooney was like, yeah, that guy, that's not the same Joe Biden. I don't know what happened, but that's not the same Joe Biden. So this was the night we were supposed to get answers as the American people as to why we got a Dear John letter from the guy who was supposed to be the most popular president ever elected, got supposedly the most votes in history, can't win a second term, and Dear John's the entire country, and nobody in the mainstream media wants to talk about it because they're too busy fawning over Kamala Harris. Why is that? Why is that? So I know we talked about this last hour, but it was last hour or hour before. Actually, no, I've got another article I want to get you first. This is again from our friends at The Blaze. Poll expert dumps cold water on Democrats' enthusiasm for Kamala Harris, and it's all good news for Trump. This is from Chris Enlow. Now, again, what I'm about to read you, I'm reading you from the perspective of another writer. I'm going to tell you everything that I've been saying all week. Approach this election like we're 60 points down. Push, pull, or drag your friends that are willing to vote to go vote with you. Vote early if you can. Use mail-in voting if you can. I don't care. Just vote. All right, so we're going to go on with the article now. There is a large question looming over the 2024 election. Will Kamala Harris perform better than Joe Biden? President Joe Biden stepped aside as the Democratic Party's presidential nominee after it became clear to his party that he would lose to Donald Trump this November. Notice they never mention anything about the health issues because they haven't yet, still. But will Democrats fare any better with Vice President Kamala Harris atop their ticket? According to CNN polling expert Harry Ensign, it's likely the Democrats are no better off with Harris. Now, this I'm reading to you guys to calm you guys down that are all hair on fire. We're all going to lose. Doesn't mean I don't want you to act like we're going to win. I'm just trying to keep you from having a stroke. Kamala Harris is going to have to do better than this if she wants to win the popular vote. For all of the excitement that Democrats have over Kamala Harris, it is going to be difficult to beat Donald Trump, Ensign explained on Tuesday. The reasons for his tempered expectations are clear. Pointing to recent polls surveying Trump's popularity, Hinton acknowledged that Trump has historically been unpopular, but explained the tides are quickly changing in Trump's favor. The fact is, Donald Trump is more popular now than he ever has been before. So yes, Democrats can make this switcheroo, but they're still going to have to beat Donald Trump, a Trump who is stronger than he has ever been before, Hinton said. And actually, we have the clip, so I'm going to cue that up real quick. Hang on. Actually, I always forget. It won't let me do that until I do this. So we'll just do this. And we'll go here.
Let's take a look here just first at the favorable views of Donald Trump. We know that Donald Trump has historically been unpopular. But take a look now. After the Republican National Convention, in the ABC News Ipsos poll, he recorded his highest ever favorable rating at 40%. That's not a one-off. Take a look at the Quinnipiac University poll, 46%. That's the highest ever in that pollster. The fact is, Donald Trump is more popular now than he ever has been before. So yes, Democrats can make this switcheroo, but they're still going to have to beat Donald Trump, a Donald Trump who is stronger, Sarah, than he has ever been before.
It will be interesting to see how voters respond to all of this. Now, how is he doing relative to Harris, who did run at one point? What do those numbers look like?
Yeah, so let's take a look here, right? We've been focusing so much on how Harris was doing better than Biden in the polling, and that's true. If we take a look at the national average, what do we see? We see Donald Trump up by 1. That's a within the margin race, right? That's a close race. But remember, of course, in the national popular vote, Democrats tend to do better there than they've done in the Electoral College, at least when Donald Trump has been running for president. So last time around, when Joe Biden barely won in the Electoral College, he actually won the national popular vote by 4 points. So at this point, Donald Trump is running 5 points better. 5, that's a 5 of some sort. 5 points better than he was 4 years ago against Joe Biden. So at this particular point, whether you look at the favorable ratings, whether you look at the horse race polling, we see that Donald Trump is doing significantly better than he was doing 4 years ago at this point. Kamala Harris is going to have to do better than this, of course, if she wants to win the popular vote, but more than that if she wants to win the Electoral College, where she'll likely have to outperform how she's done nationally, because the fact is, if you got to tie it in the national popular vote, that is probably not good enough if you're Kamala Harris and you want to win the election against Donald Trump.
Give me some sense of what the biggest thing that could create change here. And also, we have to be clear, there hasn't been time for a poll since Kamala Harris announced. It just happened.
Yes. So all this polling was taken before Kamala Harris actually became the likely and now presumptive Democratic nominee, given those delegates that have lined up behind her. But keep in mind this, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden never changed. It was the least volatile race on record. Even after that first debate, you saw a movement of a point or two. Of course, Donald Trump and Joe Biden were basically universally well known. So I want to take a look here. No opinion of the candidate. For Donald Trump, it was 9% in the ABC News Ipsos poll that came out over the weekend. But look at this. For Kamala Harris, nearly a fifth of the electorate had no opinion of her. And those opinions, in all honesty, probably weren't that well baked in. They just knew Harris as Biden's VP. There are a lot of folks that are going to be taking a second look at Kamala Harris over the next week, over the next month, all the way up until the election. And the truth is that presents Democrats with a major opportunity, right? Because it could be that their perceptions of Kamala Harris are proven wrong based upon her campaign rhetoric and her campaign actions, but they could be proven wrong either way. She could be much better than they think, or she could be worse than they think. There's still a lot to be determined here. Sarah, we started off this segment saying how crazy the last less than a month has been. Yeah. This is truly unprecedented. We can look at the numbers now, but the real thing to look at going down the road is looking at those trend lines, because the fact is, this is a race that is truly up for grabs.
Just want to let you know that my friends just took a drink because they had this thing about the word unprecedented, and now you've said it, and they
sometimes there's a word that gets used over and over and over again, but in a year like this, the word of the year, probably according to Webster's, by the end of it, will be unprecedented.
And they're drinking again. All right, John.
Unprecedented.
All right, so there you have it from CNN themselves. Now, again, all I'm going to tell you is the same thing that I've been telling you. Act as if we're down 60 points, because we're going to have to overcome at least 30 points worth of creative balloting. So make sure that you are acting as if we are down by at least 60. It really is just that simple. All right, so let's take the break. We'll do that real quick. When we come back, we've got even more to talk about because there's been no shortage today. So you guys hang out, maybe stretch your legs, grab a drink, smoke a little bit of whatever it is that helps you think, unless you're working. But then again, I'm not your boss and I don't judge. You're listening to America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robbins, and normally we do this thing on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. If you like what you're hearing here, make sure you follow along with the station at KLRNRadio and follow along with me at RowdyRick73 if you so choose. We will be back. Stay tuned.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
In uncertain times, we could use someone to lean on. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma will stand by you with plan options to fit your budget. If you've recently lost your job, had a baby, or moved, you can still get the healthcare coverage you and your family need. Financial help may be available for those who qualify. Call 855-452-BLUE or visit hereforyouok.com to see if you're eligible to enroll. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, a division of Healthcare Service Corporation, a mutual legal reserve company.
I'm Jordan Klinger, an attorney at McIntyre Law. The decision to hire an attorney after you've been injured is important. The decision on who to hire is even more important. At McIntyre Law, we will settle a case if the offer to our client is fair. Partial justice is no justice at all. At McIntyre Law, we are committed to obtaining full justice for our clients. Contact McIntyre Law at 405-917-5200 or visit us at mcintyrelaw.com.
Today, this breakfast isn't just breakfast. It might be the first McDonald's breakfast you're having at McDonald's again. This lunch might be a weekly tradition you hadn't had in weeks. And this dinner might be the first one you bought for not just you in a while. Whatever this order is for you, McDonald's will be here to take it.
Get more of the chicken you love with a delicious McChicken sandwich for $1. And for an extra buck, add a refreshing Dr. Pepper. Dining rooms are starting to reopen in certain communities at participating McDonald's. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
I am Conor McGregor, multiple weight MMA champion. I'm a fighter and I've been through many battles in the octagon. Many consider my fights in the octagon heroic, but the real life heroes are those men and women who fight to protect us every day. The real life fighters, the real life heroes are the firefighters and police officers. These first responders are true heroes because these brave men and women put themselves in the line of danger every single day protecting us all. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation ensures that first responders from fire, EMS and police departments who are killed in the line of duty with young children have a home without the burden of a mortgage. They are my heroes. They need our help today. I'd like to ask you to join me in donating $11 a month to support their efforts. Your $11 a month honors and supports our first responders. Please call now at 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up!
Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors. We're also making new jobs. Alejandra, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
And welcome back into the program, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is a special Wednesday night edition of the America Off the Rails show, typically airing here on KLRN Radio Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm Rick Robinson. I'm also the programming director on here, so pretty much anything you see or hear, I've been involved in one form or another around here. Whether you see that as a good or a bad thing is up to you. But anyway. Apparently I'm missing Dana was missing Dana on Jesse's show tonight. I'm gonna have to check that out later. I love me some Dana. Anyway. All right. So good Lord, as if there's any shortage of anything to talk about tonight. So let's get things going here still. We've still got a little bit of showtime left. Don't forget, coming up next will be myself and Ordnance J. Packard as your closing act for Chat Lives Matter Night right here live on KLRN Radio, so don't go anywhere. Fastest 4 hours of talk radio anywhere, and we do it because we love it. So we hope you guys love it too. Anyway, so in case you missed it, Netanyahu spoke today. We covered it over at the Digital Beacon. I was actually working that news desk for several hours today. So according to our friends at The Blaze, Prime Minister Netanyahu praises U.S.-Israeli alliance, compares October 7th to 9/11 in first address to Congress since 2015. However, more than 40 Democrats boycotted the speech on Wednesday amidst ongoing hostilities in Gaza following Hamas' attack on Israel on October 7, 2023. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a formal address to the United States Congress, his first in nearly a decade. As expected, Netanyahu focused on the strong, enduring alliance between the U.S. and Israel and compared the October 7 attack on his country to the two major foreign attacks America suffered in the last 85 years, Pearl Harbor as well as 9/11. Like December 7, 1941 and September 11, 2001, he said October 7 is a day that will forever live in infamy. He then called on U.S. lawmakers to provide his nation assistance in the war against Hamas. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together, he said. When we stand together, something really simple happens. We win, they lose. Give us the tools faster and we'll finish the job faster. The Prime Minister also called out the violent pro-Hamas protests that began outside of the Capitol building, and we talked about those in depth today. So if you missed the show earlier this afternoon, you're welcome to go back and check it out. The protests that began outside of the Capitol building during his speech and that arose on college campuses around America throughout the past year. He referred... Hang on, let me check something. I knew I didn't turn my camera back on. My bad. No, I can't restart. Nice try, Raptor. Anyway, so let me see here. Where was I? So the prime minister also called out the violent pro-Hamas protests that began outside the Capitol, as well as that arose on college campuses around America throughout the past year. He referred to the protesters as Iran's useful idiots and suggested they supported a barbaric regime. In that very instance, they panned to none other than Rashida Tlaib, who made herself a meme today and was holding up a sign that accused Netanyahu of both being a war criminal as well as supporting genocide. Nobody talks about how the folks chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, are technically supporting genocide too, by the way. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations. It is a clash between barbarism and civilization. It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. And I have been saying that for over a year. It's like we keep trying to westernize these people's values, and it's one of the reasons why I keep saying we need to be careful how many of these people that we're letting in here, especially when they tell us up front, we're not here to assimilate, we're here to colonize. Those are very important words, and we should be really paying attention to what it is that they are trying to tell us, because they don't have the same values as we do in most cases. And I have plenty of I have Muslim friends and Muslims that I've worked with who do seem to have our same values. But they also have the ability, according to their book of scripture, to lie to the unbeliever. I'm not saying we shouldn't trust them. Their own book says we shouldn't trust them. That's what I'm saying. Additionally, Netanyahu claimed that pro-Hamas protesters often don't even know the nature or the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. These again, what I was just saying a second ago, these protesters chant from the river to the sea, but many don't have a clue what river and what sea they're talking about, he insisted. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well be holding up signs that say chickens for KFC. That was probably one of the better lines of the speech, if I'm being honest. Despite Netanyahu's professions of solidarity with America's support for Israel and its response, he waned in America. I'm sorry that the response has waned in America in recent months. As of early May, nearly 40% of respondents to ABC News Ipsos poll said the U.S. was doing too much for Israel. That is about 39% too many. Just saying. Some support the Palestinian cause. Others believe America should focus on domestic issues rather than attempt to interfere in foreign conflicts. Federal lawmakers are even more divided on the issue. Anywhere from 40 to 60, mostly Democratic congressional critters, including Rep. Nancy Pelosi of California, James Clyburn of South Carolina, Pramelia J. Paul of Washington, and Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, boycotted Netanyahu's speech. Rep. Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, another outspoken critic of Israel, attended the speech, often raising a handheld sign that called Netanyahu a war criminal who was guilty of genocide. Fellow squad member Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I butchered the name on purpose, made similar comments about the prime minister. Vice President Kamala Harris, who would normally preside over such an address, did not attend the speech, citing a scheduling conflict, nor did she greet Netanyahu and his wife at the airport when they arrived in the U.S. on Monday. Now, the likely Democratic nominee for president in 2024, she is scheduled to meet with Netanyahu sometime on Thursday, as is President Joe Biden. Netanyahu will then meet with former President Donald Trump on Friday. Senator J.D. Vance, Republican, Ohio, recently selected to be Trump's running mate in the 2024 presidential election, did not attend Netanyahu's speech because he was out on the campaign trail. Wednesday marked Netanyahu's fourth address to Congress and the most of any foreign leader in history. It is also his first since 2015. He came at the joint invitation of Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican, Louisiana. Pardon me, did I mention it's been a long day? And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York. Even though I disagree with many of Bibi Netanyahu's policies, Schumer said, I will attend the speech because the United States relationship with Israel remains ironclad and transcends any prime minister or president. We must do all we can to get our hostages home. So here's the thing. Joe Biden could have fixed this stuff a long ass time ago, and let me explain how. It was our own foreign failures that gave Russia and Iran the money to do the things that they've been able to do. If we hadn't put money back in Russia's coffers, if we hadn't put money back in Iran's coffers, none of these things would be going on right now. So we don't need to be sending money to Ukraine. We don't need to be sending, honestly, we don't even really need to be sending that much material to Israel. All we need to do is stop letting people that are trying to kill us and kill our allies sell oil on the open market. It's not that hard. We were doing that under Trump. Russia was broke under Trump. Iran was broke under Trump. But because we are currently being strangled by the Democratic, not in my backyard energy policies, we are allowing people that want us dead to have money flowing into their coffers. We have allowed the Chinese to flex their muscle all over the world while Joe Biden has been hiding. We went over this today too. All the different things that China has done just in the last couple of weeks since the debate. Just because they started seeing how weak Joe Biden actually was on the world stage. This is what I've been talking about all along. These people owe us explanations. I understand that ever since we passed the 16th Amendment, they really don't work for us anymore, and it really is much the other way around because we work to fund their pipe dreams and their wet dreams for everything that they want to do for the country. That's why they want you employed. That's why they want you somewhere where they can get a hold of your taxes. That's why they've been telling you for forever that the best thing for you to do is to get a college degree, get a steady 9-to-5 job, and just buy a house, find a wife, pop out a couple of kids, buy a dog, go on a vacation every once in a while, and that's the American dream until you hit 65, and then if you're lucky, you get to retire. I've been telling you guys for forever, the American dream is whatever you decide the American dream is. That's the whole point of individual liberty. You get to decide what your version of the American dream is, but as long as you keep buying into the government's idea of what the American dream is, you're eventually going to find yourself completely unhappy and completely unfulfilled. I know. It's why I've changed my entire life in the last 2 years. Because I did everything society told me that I was supposed to do. And I still found myself broken, sobbing, and alone because the person that I devoted my life to decided she wanted to devote her life to somebody else after me spending over 20 years of mine with her. Why do I keep talking about this? Because I need you guys to understand we've all been buying into the same crap. And it's a lie. They have needed you plugged into the tax base because you fund what they need. We are not the republic we once were. I know the Pledge of Allegiance says that we're a republic. Ben Franklin says a republic, man, if you can keep it. I get it. I know all that. But ever since the 16th and the 17th Amendment, we are much less a republic than we used to be. And as I've been pointing something out now for days and weeks, the shortest distance back to an authoritarian regime is through a pure democracy. And that is where they are trying to get us. That's why they're trying to do away with the Electoral College. The Electoral College is one of the last safeguards that makes us a republic and not a pure democracy. Because we used to elect our representatives into the House by popular vote. Then the states got to elect their representatives through their legislative bodies. We changed that with the 17th Amendment. Before the 16th Amendment, when the government had something they wanted to do, they had to draft it up as a bill. It then had to be signed into law by the president. And then they had to come back to you and say, hey, this is what we want to do. It has been signed into law. If you want to support it, please buy these treasury bills. They don't have to do that anymore. You guys realize that when they passed the 16th Amendment, they took away your very power of the veto through the purse? Because it used to be us that had the veto power through the purse. Now it's supposed to be the House. When is the last time the House has said no to any spending bills? When? Because I don't remember. They keep spending us into oblivion and printing more money, thinking, oh, well, we'll fix it. We'll fix it when our grandkids are old. We'll make our grandkids pay for it. And I get it. Donald Trump's not the most fiscally conservative Republican either. He did some things that I wish he didn't do. But if I have to choose between somebody who at least understands how to get the country going again, the right way, how to put more money back in our pockets where it should be, reduce our tax burden, which needs to happen anyway, because what nobody seems to understand, and Reagan figured it out, when he slashed the tax rates, our economy went nuts. Everybody kept saying the more tax revenue we bring in, the better we're going to be. The more tax revenue we bring in, the better we're going to be. And at that point, people were paying anywhere between 50 to 75% tax rates on average. And yet Reagan said, no, that's not how this is supposed to work. And then he slashed it. And all of a sudden, our economy took off. Now, I'm not saying there weren't bad times during the 80s. Hell, we had to leave the state of Oklahoma in the 80s because of the oil bust. But again, some of that wasn't for the reasons y'all think it was. People that have been in power and been in influential places have done whatever they can throughout history, even here, to shore up their own forms of income. That's how we've gotten where we are. It really is just that simple. This is what they're doing right now. This is the part that I can't seem to make anybody understand. This is what they're doing to us right now. They have taken this election, changed the entire paradigm of this election without even consulting their own people, other than the people that are already in power, other than the donors who have already put them in power. Because these people saw their grip on power slipping away, and they are going to do anything they can to hang on to it, including demonizing me and you, including making us calling out Kamala Harris for being the ineffectual, ineptitude-filled person that she is. They're going to make us out to be racist. I don't know about you, but I don't care anymore. Because the very party that kept telling us, because you're supporting Donald Trump, you're trying to kill democracy, just basically killed democracy. You realize that if they win, that it's done, right? If they win and nobody shows them that they can't do this crap, we're never going to be able to hold a decent election again, because they're going to do it over and over and over again. Oh, our guy's losing again. Let's swap him out. They let us do it last time and nobody said anything. Are we really this much as a nation of sheep now? Sorry, that was a terrible sentence, but it's still a valid question. Are we, the American people, sheep now? Because I'm starting to feel like we're sheep. And I don't like how that feels. I honestly expected, and I was telling everybody this, if they tried what they have just done, I expected everybody to lose their minds. And they're not. I expected everybody to be mad. And they're not. Where are the 14.5 million voices screaming out about their vote being tossed out? Where are those people? Where did they go? Why did they not care that their own government, that their own party just invalidated them? These are the things that I do not understand. And this is why, try as I might to not be one of these people, I am starting to understand that I really do believe we are past the point of being able to cohabitate with about half the country. Because they don't care what they have to do to win. And they keep proving it to us over and over and over again. And we just keep coming back, feeding quarters into the dick punching machine, as my good friend Ordnance Packard likes to say all the time. And he'll be up with us here in about 6 minutes or so. So we're going to start wrapping things up here because I'm going to get depressed if I don't. I mean, there's been the footage all day, the little bit that you can find of the protesters pulling down American flags, lighting them on fire, raising Palestinian flags. I misquoted something. I said it was the Liberty Bell. It looks like it was, I guess it was the Freedom Bell, but they've graffitied all over a bunch of statues and stuff today. They fought with cops in the Capitol, which last I heard was supposed to be an insurrection, but I guess it wasn't insurrection-y enough this time. Anyway. All right, so as far as for me, again, I'll be coming up here in just a few minutes with myself and Ordnance J. Packard, finishing off the night doing the Rick and Ordy show. This has been the entire Chat Lives Matter lineup in one stream just because it makes my life a little bit easier. We'll get the podcast versions out before morning. For those of you that may have missed a few things, you'll be able to catch them on all of your favorite podcatchers. I'll get that worked on here in just a little bit. You can also find me tomorrow afternoon doing the Rick Robinson show for the last 2 days of the week, Friday and Saturday. So it's Monday through Friday on that one, except for the first Monday of the month, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Then tomorrow night, I'm not sure what we're doing because Jen's on vacation. So as Steven just pointed out, it's only insurrection if you are on the wrong side of the political divide. And so after... so Jen and Rick, not sure. Jen's on vacation. We'll figure out something to do with that time slot. I'll be back Friday afternoon, Friday afternoon, of course, then Friday evening with Aggie Rican doing He Said, She Said. Then I'll be pushing buttons for Talk Murder to Me. Aggie, He Said, She Said is 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Talk Murder to Me is 9 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. That is with Bumpstock Ken and Bumpstock Barbie with special guest Zelda Gabriel, who will be doing, they'll be doing a nature versus nurture study. Should be fun and entertaining. And then I'll be back doing this one that I'm doing right now, Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on KLRN Radio, where I do the America Off the Rails show. When I'm not doing all that, you can find me as a contributor at Misfits Politics, theloftusparty.com and twitchy.com. You can also find me as the executive producer of the Loftus Party podcast, which is a proud production of Kung Fu Rick Productions, LLC. And you can also find me on social media at RowdyRick73 on most platforms. The only one that's different is Insta, which is RowdyRick1973, but I don't really do much with Insta yet. So on that note, folks, we're going to get out of here. The night's not over with yet, so I'm not going to end with my normal outro. So I'm just going to go with this one because I don't want you guys to turn everything off because Ordy and I will be back up in a few minutes. So anyway, it's been fun. It's been real fun. Unless you're Joe Biden. He's had like a no good, horrible, terrible, very bad month. And I don't think it's going to get any better because people still have questions. I happen to be one of those people. We're going to try to get you the answers because that's what we do. I'm Rick Robinson. This is America Off the Rails. I'll see you guys Sunday night. Hang out for just a few. Ordy and I will be right back doing Rick and Ordy. All right, for those of you hanging out on the feed, give me just a second. I'm trying to make contact with my co-host here and make sure we're still doing a thing. Hang on.
Hello.
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 How you doing?
Coughing my lungs out at the moment, but I'm good. Yeah, I didn't get Twitter didn't light up the DM that I got a DM from you. I was just about to text you when your text came through saying, I need an invite, friend.
Actually, those all as long as you have one stored anywhere, they're all the same once they go live.
No, I know, but yeah.
Anyway,
I thought that was
so-
show specific.
No, that's only for once they go live. They're all basically the same.
Okie dokie.
It only lets you give out the other ones if you're pre-scheduling, but once it goes live, it's basically all the same.
Gotcha. Got it.
By the way, we're still live.
I know.
Just giving you a heads up just in case. And I guess since I forgot, I can only do 3 hours on this thing now. I'll just put this one off on its own. We'll just shorten the break. So we'll cut that one out. Cut that one out. And that still puts us out at almost the normal time. All right. So we got 3 minutes to the intro.
All right. Got some retard telling me how to use Twitter.
That's always fun.
Won't do you any good adding the people. You have to hit the report button. I'm not reporting them. I'm pointing. Fuck off.
Oh, so much fun, so little time.
So many retards. So many retards. So what's up with you, man?
I've been working my ass off.
Yeah, retirement does that.
I know, right? I'm like, I thought I was retired. Why am I working harder than I was before I was retired? But anyway, at least now it's the stuff I like to do. Like I live stream a couple of the hearings about the assassination this week on the Digital Beacon side, and then I did the Netanyahu speech today, and then started prepping all the other stuff. And I've got some articles I'm going to be working on for tomorrow. So yeah, fun times, fun times.
And me, I was just on the phone with the state of California all day. And my bank.
Why would you want to do that?
Oh, I didn't want to. I had to.
What did the state of California try to do to you now, my friend? And why do you
just
still live there?
They said they didn't get the proper forms from my doctor, and anyway. My doctor says, no, we sent him 3 times. I said, yeah, that tracks. I'm just telling you what they told me.
I mean, it is the state of California, so, you know.
Right.
Oh. So, I guess the left is trying to San Francisco America now. That should be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, bringing up the sounds when I missed the
Okay.
cue. Because I did that with you earlier. We were talking. I was like, oh, shit.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at
OZ California goes commieing just fine.
KLRNradio.com.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
The way I always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too? I was gambling in Havana. I took a little risk. Send lawyers, guns, and money. Dad, get me out of this. Ha!
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Otherwise known as Chat Lives Matter Night, right here live on KLRN Radio. I am one half of the crew, Mr. Rick Robinson. He is the other half, Mr. Ordnance J. Packard. And good evening, sir. How are you?
You sound tired.
Sound tired. Sound tired, probably tired, feel tired. All of the above probably applies.
I thought I told you I was retired. Oh, I just thought you said you were tired. Well, I am a little tired.
Oh, so how you been, man? How you been?
I'm doing good. Those of you who heard during the break, I got to spend the entire day on the phone with the state of California, so I didn't kill myself.
I'm surprised, actually.
They have... Okay. Okay, most places have pretty annoying hold music. The state of California doesn't let you get annoyed by the hold music long enough because they keep telling you over and over and over again the same thing every 20 seconds. I timed it because I had nothing else to do. Finally, I just put them on speaker and went around my business my day. Anyway, enough of that depressing bullshit. How about you? What's going on with you? What's new in Rick's world?
Well, I mean, we've had some interesting hearings lately. We've had Netanyahu speaking today. We've had protesters in D.C. that apparently weren't an insurrection.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah, it's weird how that works. When it's their side,
Yeah.
it's not an insurrection or nothing.
Yeah.
Even though, they're actually, destroying property and, dragging cops all over the place. And
Yeah, you see, the thing is, and I keep saying this, for the left, violence is a dial. For the right, it's a switch. And you see it everywhere. They'll turn up or turn down, the violence, whatever they need for the given situation. But there's always that underlying current of violence. Once we flip the switch, oh, fuck, that's a civil war, man.
I mean,
keep waiting for it.
No,
really. I had that long tweet on an account that doesn't exist anymore, which was funny because so many people bookmarked it for future use. It's not going to be the kind of civil war everybody thinks of, where there's going to be fighting. I mean, there it will be, but it's going to be like the Troubles. It's not going to be. It's going to be bloody and messy, and fighting will be everywhere and nowhere, and it'll be everybody against everybody.
Yeah, I have a feeling
HOAs, those fuckers are going down.
I think it'll be more like the Purge.
I mean, that's kind of, a friend of mine mentioned that too. It's both. It'll be both. Speaking of the Purge, why did Matt Getz look like one of the face masks from the Purge when he was talking at the RNC? I mean, why do they keep getting? Okay, I have a little tip for you, DC Beltway folks. The Botox ain't helping. It makes you look fucking ridiculous. Knock it off. Okay, you're not. Nobody believes that you're a 30-something politician. Nobody believes you're Jack Kennedy. Even Jack Kennedy wasn't Jack Kennedy. Knock it off. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he kind of remember the young kid that played the Joker in the original, the first one with Keaton when it showed the young kid.
Yeah,
that's kind of what that face reminded me of.
It's insane. They really need to stop.
But anyway, so yeah. So did you catch any of President Puddinhead's pre-recorded goodbye to America?
No. Okay. I don't know if okay. Right before coming on, I was in DMs with somebody who was trying to get me to spread awareness of the fact that there was applause in it, and at the end of it, at least that's what ABC was reporting. And I couldn't find it in the clips, but I'll have to look deeper after the show. But the thing is, in his contention, he's right that the lighting is all wrong. It's the direct, it would be the way that the lighting is. It was morning. And I said, well, that's two things that could be. One, yeah, they pre-recorded it, which I think that was pretty much a given anyway. But it didn't seem, what I saw didn't seem that heavily edited. So the other thing is that, remember the fake White House set, the fake Oval Office set? Okay, I'm thinking that was that. Because, I mean, the reason for it is because the Oval Office is actually quite small. It's not even as big as it is on TV. When you watch TV shows, it's not even that big. It's pretty tiny. So, like, if you're getting press and the media and everything in there, that's why they built that set. And it was kind of funny. If you remember during COVID, it was the middle of winter and they had the roses in the garden in full bloom. Like, what do you try? You couldn't take a picture from today? Just walk out there with your phone, snap. Anyway, so I'm thinking it was from the set.
I'm not even sure that was Joe Biden, if I'm being honest.
Well, true.
Well, I mean, so stay with me here. So they showed him yesterday, right? I think it was yesterday, which was weird because I could have swore that I had read in a story that had come out that morning that he wasn't actually going to be returning to DC now until today. And then all of a sudden it was announced that he was actually still traveling yesterday. So they showed him exiting the motorcade and then getting onto Air Force One. Several issues. Dude walked really, really fast for Joe Biden, especially lately. Other issues. Dude was using big boy stairs. Don't remember the last time I saw Joe Biden using the big boy stairs, especially not without having to pause at least twice.
And fall down.
Yeah, I mean, at least trip almost once and usually have to stop at least twice. I mean, and supposedly he just recovered from COVID. I don't care how much they amped his ass up.
Jen Van Laar had a great article the other day about how sources inside LV Metro were reporting that they were told to clear the streets for rapid access to Air Force One, that he had suffered a medical emergency, not COVID. And what they think it was, it's not an actual stroke, but there's a medical term. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a mini stroke where you have all the signs of having a stroke and then you get over it pretty quick. So I think that the COVID story was a mask for that.
Could be.
And Jen Van Laar from Red State, by the way, she's fantastic. If you don't follow her, you absolutely should.
I think I'm following pretty much everybody from Red State these days, but I'll have to go double check.
It's your job. No, but Jen, she's heavy on the California beat, but she does some. She's actually, a lot of people at Red State are, but she is actually a journalist. She will do the deep investigative dive. She has been crawling up Gavin Newsom's ass with a microscope for the last 5 years, and I'm here for it. But anyway,
Sorry, I just realized I've been putting notifications in the wrong DM group about our numbers tonight. I was like, where did those go? And then I realized I put them in the wrong one. I was like, never mind.
Don't worry about the numbers, man. people will listen.
No, I know. I just like to tell everybody else about them, and I thought I'd already done that.
Oh, so I just got I got something from Jeff on Discord. NORAD detected, tracked, and intercepted 2 Russian Tu-95s, 2 PRCH-6 military aircraft operating in the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone on July 24th. That's today. NORAD fighter jets from the United States and Canada scrambled to intercept. See, Russia wasn't this bold under previous presidents.
Well, that's because under previous presidents, Russia barely had any money.
Well, I mean, that too. But I mean, no, I mean they don't have any money now. They've been fucking, setting it all on fire in their little war in Ukraine. But more to the point, see, Russia didn't do anything. I mean, they took a little bit of Crimea and Georgia under Obama. They did nothing under Trump. Then Biden sends Kamala, and y'all need to remember this fact I'm about to drop here for the rest of the election season. Biden sends Kamala to Russia to deal with Putin and say, you better not do anything with Ukraine. She fucked it up so badly, Putin invaded Ukraine the very next day.
I mean, I figured if nothing else, she'd just climbed under the desk and taken care of business.
Yeah, but then, that would have given him a day of pause. You got to recharge after a pro like Kamala.
That's what I'm saying. If he was that cranky where he was wanting to invade shit, she shouldn't anyway.
Yeah. So. Good God. I don't know. He's a dictator. You think he can't have any one of those Russian porn stars? Anyway. So that happened today. Thank you. Thank you, gutted military. Where everybody. Oh. And wait, hang on. This is another one from Jeff today too in Discord. I saw earlier and I wanted to bring it up tonight. Let me go get it. Yeah, from Ars Technica. North Korean hacker got hired by U.S. security vendor. Bringing up the rest of the lead. Immediately loaded malware.
God, we're fucking retarded.
Yeah, for the security vendor, no before. Yeah. Fuck.
We're fucking retarded.
Yeah, we definitely something.
Oh, so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the breaking news. Thank you, Jeff, for both of those because
yeah, I mean, well, and there's some stuff that I covered during the afternoon show that nobody's really been paying attention to because we've been too busy trying to figure out what the hell was going on at home. But China's been doing some really sketchy shit.
China's always doing sketchy. China's another paper tiger.
Yeah, but they're now doing like really bold, sketchy shit. Like they commandeered a boat and crew off of, I believe it was the coast of, I want to say the Philippines, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah, it was the Philippines. We're sending the Coast Guard over to. We're not even sending the A-team. We're sending the Coast Guard to deal with them.
But yeah, and then they
take that back for any coasties. You guys are awesome.
I was gonna say, don't be trash talking the coasties. They're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, you're one of the few branches that isn't up their own ass, so I like you.
Jeff, no cows were harmed.
This time. But, it's not just China. I mean, South Korea and Japan did some incursion flights into Chinese airspace, too. Japan is getting, since we let them rearm.
Well, there's a reason South Korea and Japan have done those things.
Understanding, don't touch our fucking boats. Japan's getting fucking bold. They're making some pretty sweet ass drone ships.
Well, so there's a reason that that South Korea and Japan have been doing those things, though, because China has been feinting into South Korean airspace a little bit, and they've also been sending some naval ships into some supposedly uninhabited island chains that are right next to Japan. So there's a reason that those two places are starting to try to show a few teeth to China too, because China's been getting bold, especially in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think it's because Winnie the Pooh had a stroke.
Probably.
Yeah. I haven't seen that confirmed, but it's pretty much been confirmed that Xi Jinping had a stroke. So now he's on par with Biden.
Oh, so much fun, so little time. So what's new in your world, man? What's going on with you?
Oh, just excuse me. God, I can't shake this. Allergies are flaring up again. I'm sorry about only making it halfway to the mute button on that cough, but no, it's what? It wasn't too stupid hot today, but we are getting some smoke from the fires over in the valley, so
It's always
mixed bag, but it's all it's like that future, or no, it was The Simpsons. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. Same guy. When The Simpsons went to California, and there was a sign, "Welcome to California. It's been 10 days since our last natural disaster," and a fire takes out the sign. That's California. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Andrew in the chat, what's up, man? Hope your conference is going well. Jeff in the chat, Veggie Tales, the World War III edition.
Right.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's see, a lot of y'all didn't believe me, and the listeners did, because we have the smartest listeners. But a lot of people didn't believe me on Twitter when I kept saying that Russia is a paper tiger. Evidence of that fact, that it has taken them 2 years of stalled warfare to invade Ukraine. Another corrupt, but whatever. China, if you watch any like Task and Purpose or any of the threat assessment YouTubers, their military is held together with baling wire and bubble gum. It's like their brand new next gen aircraft carrier is just not ready for prime time. I think their other two main aircraft carriers are actually Ukrainian hulls, if I remember right. They didn't even build those, they bought them. So everybody's worried about China. China's time to act is narrowing rapidly. And granted, we're not in great shape either, but at least we have hope, because we don't have 20-year runs on dictators. We just have flashes of retardation between. No, we had a long run of retardation, actually. It's about 20 years now that I think about it. Fuck. Never mind.
Remember what I was just trying to say? Never mind. I take it all back.
I take it all back.
Oh, man.
So how about you? What's grinding your gears? What haven't you covered today you wanted to talk about?
Actually, this is an interesting little story. Doesn't really have anything to do with what we've been talking about either, so I just saw it. This is from our friends at The Blaze. Dad is in the dark that he won $1 million jackpot until detectives explained to him that his lottery ticket had been stolen.
Wait, what?
So there's a dad that won a $1 million lottery jackpot, had no idea that he'd actually won until detectives reported to him that his ticket had been stolen.
Probably by a dirtbag son.
Probably. So police provided advice to those who play the lottery so they don't get scammed. Tennessee father had no idea that he won a $1 million jackpot until the moment detectives told him that his lottery ticket had been stolen, according to authorities. A lucky dad recently purchased 2 scratch-off lottery tickets at a Shell station in Murfreesboro. He reportedly asked the clerk to check if the tickets, $20 diamond and gold tickets, were winners. Sounds like he got scammed by the clerk. The clerk, identified by authorities as a 23-year-old Meet Patel, allegedly told the dad that he'd won $40 on one ticket, but the other ticket was not a winner. Lieutenant Detective Steve Craig told WTVF-TV the ticket the dad was told was the not a winner ended up on the top of the trash. Then when the dad departed the store, Craig said Patel took the trash outside, and if you follow him on camera, you can see him grab the ticket and put it in his pocket. However, the losing ticket was a $1 million winner, and Patel allegedly attempted to claim the prize. See, people are
You know,
assholes.
I always wondered about. That's why, when I do occasionally throw, I don't. After living in Vegas for so long, I just don't go to casinos anymore. But every now and then, I'll throw like $10 at the Mega, at Mega, whatever. When I'm, in the store getting something, and I really don't want to charge $4.18 for a gallon of milk. Sorry, $5.18 for a gallon of milk. So I'll usually throw a lotto ticket on it too, just to, so that way I don't feel like a retard having to charge $4 because I don't carry cash often. So yeah, I've always wondered about those people who have the clerks check their tickets for them, because I've got the app, but now that I think about it too, what's to stop the state of California from just saying, "Oh, sorry, that's not a winner"? Like if the app is designed to tell you that you lost, so that it just keeps rolling.
Yeah, I was about to say I would probably use the app, but then again, I guess it doesn't really matter because, yeah, it's probably.
Well, actually, no. You know what? Because the state, I'm reevaluating that. I'm pretty sure that the app is okay because the state's going to get their 30% anyway. So they don't need to steal it all. They don't need to steal it all and let it roll over when they can get that payout now. Because when the government has to give you money, they drag their feet. But when you owe them money, they're at the fucking door.
Yeah, probably right. It's funny how that works, though. You know what I've decided from now on? If I ever wind up owing the government money, I'm just going to tell them the check's on the roof. I'll be like, well, never mind. We can't go up there. Shit, what are we going to do now? Oh. So if you guys...
I can't believe that she was going to try and keep her job.
Yeah,
I mean, you even go back to Kennedy assassination. If I remember right, the head of USSS resigned the day after the Kennedy assassination too. I guess it's the tradition. If your president gets shot, you quit. I mean, tracks because you failed.
I mean, considering that's your one job, and you couldn't do it, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying Secret Service was a lot better when they were under Treasury rather than DHS. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm saying because you're not wrong.
Yeah. When they started putting everything under the umbrella of DHS, thank you, Bush and the Patriot Act, things got actually worse, not better. Well, I mean, better for the government, I'm sure, but worse for
worse for everybody else.
Worse for everybody else.
But, what are you going to
do? Yeah. So, okay, I saw this earlier today before I got involved with everything. You know how everybody talks about how, Trump is just like, and I'm not doing the pro-Trump thing. It's just like, it's one of those things that there's honor in golf. You don't lie about your, you when you're out there, you're not cheating. You're not, most people, especially if you take the game seriously like Trump does. And he did the break 50 challenge with DeChambeau, and they almost did it. Doing a scramble, they scored 50, which was the previous record. But they parred on one hole instead of birdied, and didn't get the 49. So yeah, he's a decent golfer.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that video today. It was kind of interesting, and this was back at the beginning of July, so it was before he got shot and everything. Shot at. Want to go to break?
Yeah, I guess we probably should do that, huh?
Yeah, because my beer is almost empty.
What is this thing you call beer?
Yeah, it's liquid bread.
I've never actually heard anybody say that before, I don't think, but it's not wrong.
Seriously? I believe that's actually the way it's described in the Bible. Or around that time, because that's when talking about how the pharaohs kept their slaves compliant, they fed them beer instead of bread. See, beer is in the Bible, proof that God wants us to be happy.
Couldn't find the bumper
Anyway.
I wanted, so we'll go with this one.
Yes, Jeff, give me another beer stat.
All right, we're going to take a break. While he's getting another beer, I guess I'm going to go make myself something to drink because I just realized it's getting kind of warm back here. I need to go check my thermostat because it's not usually this warm back
to
here.
make ball soup?
No, not quite.
Not that warm.
Maybe some ball ramen. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll be right
Ball
back.
ramen?
Stay tuned. I don't know. Just trying to sound like make it sound something different, and I'm really tired, so don't judge me.
I'm judging.
You are listening to K.
All right, we'll be good for about 4. I'll be right back.
Okay, me too. I'm back.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
Oops. Except I just hit the wrong button. That's what I get for trying to do this before I sat down.
Yeah, do it after.
Well, we were just out of ads, so I was trying to hurry. Needed about 30 seconds longer of a break than what I had, but got it all done. All right, anyway, welcome back, ladies and gents. I kind of forgot that I took some stuff out. So if I hadn't shortened the break, we'd have been fine. Anyway, so we're back. We're live. And man, there's just still news popping off everywhere. This month.
Before we continue, I have
ahead.
to lodge a complaint with management.
What?
Okay. There are two, as I've talked about on Twitter before, there are two REMs. So there are also two U2s. There is the U2 before Joshua Tree, and there is the U2 after Joshua Tree. The U2 before Joshua Tree is genuinely pretty good. I mean, Edge still had an edge. And, they were political for the right reasons, not political for being political. Then they had Joshua Tree and Rattle and Hum. Rattle and Hum was all right, too, I guess. You pick a song from their worst album ever made to go out and come back with. I'm lodging a complaint. There will be an HR meeting later.
The HR office is closed and your complaint's been filed 13.
Okay, I just had to get that off my chest. Now, breaking news.
Well, now I forgot what I was going to talk about. So.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Mr.
Chung Baby.
Mr. I want to rant about the music.
Yes. It did good. When was the last time we played Imagine Dragons?
I should have played that one.
See? We see that one I actually liked. We just used it for the bumper going in and going out of like every show for a month. And I get it. But yeah, HR office is open on Discord. Thanks, Jeff. I'll be filing the complaint in there. We'll get Pam right on it.
Sure we will.
Pam from HR.
I was going to say, who's Pam?
Do you not watch Archer?
Yes, I watch Archer. I was just being
facetious. Okay.
Oh, so this is something. So I guess Gen Z is trying to give Kamala an image lift. Have you heard about this shit?
Brat Summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Part of President Silver Alert's speech tonight, passing off the torch to a younger generation. She is also a boomer. She was born in 64. The cutoff is 65. She is not Gen X, as much as she pretends to be. She's not even cusp. She is full-blown boomer. Don't let anybody sell you that she's not. Just because we haven't had a president under 80 since, well, Obama was fairly young, and so was Bush. But, yeah. They were old before, anyway.
I didn't know she was that old. I mean, I knew she was older than me. I didn't know she was that much older than me.
Which, I mean, it kind of like her little freedom bullshit, that's like, the old woke 8-year-old meme on Twitter. The same thing, she was alive during the civil rights movement, but she was less than 5. So all her complaints about busing and this, that, you weren't even in school yet, sweetheart. Yeah, Stevenson, Gen X will be skipped. Yeah, that's how we want it. We want to be left alone. We have always wanted to be left alone. They are forgetting us again, and we are thankful for that.
We're feral. We're okay with that. We want to be left
we were the last feral generation.
I mean, dude, I don't know about you. I mean, that was kind of our whole thing, though, right? I mean, we've talked about that before, and I know it's that way with like every previous generation because I keep flashing back to freaking the dude from Back to the Future, who I nailed the last time I tried to make this comparison, but I can't think of his name right now. Who was always calling Marty McFly a slacker?
Yeah,
Strickland. I knew it was on there somewhere.
Right.
But I mean,
called his dad a slacker too. Jesus, Strickland, didn't he ever have hair?
He did call his dad a slacker too. But I mean, I guess that's always kind of been the thing. But This just seems weird to me for Gen Z to be latching on to a boomer. Then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make Kamala a brat." Like, first of all, that just
Yeah.
sounds retarded. I mean, the last I heard, I know what they're trying to make it, but last I heard, brat is a form of BDSM.
Yes.
And I don't think they really want to be making this comparison with Heels Up Harris.
Well, okay, so that whole thing started on Fire Island like minutes. They already had t-shirts printed like the day, like later afternoon on Sunday. And if you know what Fire, that's like a big gay enclave during summer vacation. So they were the one, yeah, it was the Z gays who started it. And cringe.
Yeah, apparently it was started by a very specific like Gen Z influencer, and I had their name, and it's being stupid.
Doesn't matter.
So
All you had to say was TikTok Gen Z influencer, and I already checked out.
yeah, Charlie XCX is, I guess, wrote or had a song with an album with a song on it called Brat.
Yeah, no idea.
Then that led to Brat Summer, and I guess at one point, because the funny thing is, like, even before, I think it was even before they announced the changeover, I noticed the Biden wins account apparently became the Kamala wins account. I'm like, wait, when did that happen? Was that before or after?
At that moment.
That very
Well, you
moment.
see, the media is already trying to reinvent her. They
Well, yeah.
apparently her wiki page has been nearly 100% edited and locked from rollback of revisions. The media is out there saying, "Oh, she wasn't really the border czar." Yeah, you even Axios got nailed for it because they were the first ones to say, right-wing conspiracy theory, right-wing talking point that she was the border czar. She wasn't. And in the community notes is 2 previous articles from Axios where they called her the border czar. So Axios goes and writes a revision, not of the article saying that she wasn't the border czar, of the previous articles saying they wrongly attributed to her being the border czar. That's fucking Orwellian.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah, if you don't hate the media enough, you're not paying attention.
No, even if you think you hate the media enough, you still don't hate them enough. It's kind of where I am anyway. But I guess the thing for me, right, and I get it, everybody's kind of freaking out because I was one of the people screaming the loudest that there was no way they were going to be able to replace Joe Biden before the convention because there's no mechanism for them to be able to do it. Well, they proved me wrong because they don't give a shit about rules or anything else. But what drives me nuts is we had people that just last week were all jazzed about how cool the convention was and how much energy we had and how everybody was hopeful. And now all of a sudden, because they've pulled the switch, everybody's like, you might as well just pack it in and go home. We're going to lose. I'm like, really? Really? So we're just going to quit?
Yeah.
I mean,
we're preserving democracy by having a coronation.
Well, and that's just it. If our whole stance is they're preserving democracy by supposedly having a coronation, and then we just pack it in and go home, and we let them win without at least trying to stop them, you guys realize that if we don't stop this, they're just going to do it from now on. They're going to have bad polling and go, oh, this guy sucks or this lady sucks. Let's swap around. And they let us do it last time. Nobody stopped us. Nobody said anything. That's just like the FEC has already said that technically they shouldn't have signed that money over to Kamala Harris because even though her name was on the ticket, that wasn't how it was donated. So technically they were supposed to give it back to the donors and then allow the donors to give it to her if that's what they wanted to do. That's
I
not what they
believe
did.
if the contribution is to the Biden-Harris campaign, then yes, she gets to keep it.
Not according to a guy that was interviewed on Fox News twice from the FEC. Their strict guidelines are as soon as she becomes the top of the ticket, because that changes everything how it was listed, even with her name on it, they are still technically supposed to return those funds, not just sign them over to her. And that's what he said. He said, we have specific channels available for them to get these questions asked and answered. They never did. So what they've done is they've decided that by the time we're going to be able to do anything about it, even if there is a problem with it, which there is, it'll be a moot point by the time we're able to do anything because we have no real clawback capability or anything else. And this is a guy that was actually with the FEC saying that they have blatantly violated campaign finance laws because they shouldn't have done that. Because it doesn't matter that she's staying on the ticket because it was made out to the Biden-Harris campaign, not the Harris-whoever campaign, is exactly what he said. And it's different. It's different than everything else that I've read. But this is a guy from the FEC, so I'm going to side with the guy from the FEC who specifically said, yeah, they shouldn't have done it, but they know there's nothing we can do in time to be able to do anything about it. And by the time we could do anything about it, it'll likely be a moot point because the money will already be gone. And that was live on Fox News just the other day.
Interesting. Yeah, because that goes against everything I've read on it too. So,
Yeah.
But it's Fox News, so who knows? Because if you don't hate the media enough.
Well, I mean, like I said, this guy's supposedly from the FEC, so
yeah,
he's not a member of the media.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm with you. Holy shit. We just blew through 20 minutes like it was nothing. What are you watching?
You said blue. What have I been watching? Shit, I don't even know. Lately, nothing, because I'm either watching the news or watching my eyelids, so I haven't really been watching too much lately. Oh, that's not entirely true. I did catch the first few episodes of the final season of Cobra Kai because they did their whole half season drop. I hate that they do that with that show. I miss the days when they would just drop everything all at once and you could just watch it because it just started getting good. And I guess this season is probably going to be a little bit shorter than their average because it's usually like 18. So you usually get like 9 and 9. This time we only got 5. And I was like, wait, what do you mean it's done already? It's supposed to be at least 4 more. What are you doing to me? But I've noticed lately that on the final seasons of everything, they always cut them short now, which is annoying. But
yeah,
better
they
than
fire the writers when they announce that and so they're just picking up scraps that are left of the. I think a lot of shows have their last season kind of like fleshed out just for that. And you notice that, like, you know, we've talked about in the past how Warehouse 13 kind of like just threw a bunch of scripts that they didn't use. It didn't make, or not Warehouse 13. Eureka did that,
Eureka.
and then they had the finale where Warehouse 13 actually had a proper half season.
Yeah. No, yeah. Eureka was really weird, but I mean, that show was always kind of weird anyway, because like the Christmas specials were always independent from everything else. And I was like, it just seemed kind of weird to me because it was like the Christmas episodes were like one-offs separate from the rest of the season. And I'm like, that hurts my brain.
Yeah, I was like, especially with Eureka, with the second one was right after Joe left Eureka to go on Walkabout. And then the next episode is the Christmas episode that she's in. Yeah.
Yeah, that one hurt my brain. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, wait a minute, did she just leave? How the hell is she back? What the hell are they doing? I feel like I need to blame CERN for something.
And the second Christmas show sucked anyway, so I don't watch it. I watched the first one during Christmas time. I won't watch the second one. Even the Haven one was good. So.
Dude, I haven't watched Haven in a while. I probably need to rewatch.
I gotta rewatch Haven.
That was actually a really good show.
That was a good show. It was kind of freaky.
It was like Fringe before there was Fringe. Sort of.
Yeah. No, it was after Fringe. I mean, there was Fringe. But, I mean, it's kind of funny how they made a 5 season.
Was Fringe or Haven first? I thut Haven was first.
No, Fringe was first. Haven was. But Haven, okay, well, technically, Haven was first because it was a short story by Stephen King.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I thought the Haven series was out before Fringe was. Maybe I'm remembering backwards.
No, you're remembering backwards. Fringe was first because Haven didn't come out until my first wife and I were separated. We watched Fringe together, so that's how I know. You know, those little hallmarks in time, or something. So me, what am I watching? Glad you asked.
I was about to.
So I just couldn't stop watching Sanctuary because, even though it's not free on Prime. So I tried watching it on Tubi. Wait, not Tubi. First, I tried watching it on Pluto. Absolutely unwatchable with the number of ads they have on Pluto. Tubi has very few ads. Like, they'll run one. They'll run two at the start, maybe one or two in the middle, and that's it. Unfortunately, you can't, like, if you accidentally back out of the show, you can't save it doesn't record your progress. So you got to go fast forward through and find where you left off. So, but Tubi, if I have to watch anything on a fast and it's a choice, I'm going to watch it on Tubi. Because Pluto, Jesus fucking Christ, 3.5 minutes of ads every 15 minutes. Worse than broadcast television.
Yeah, Pluto sucks.
Yeah, it does.
That's actually one of the reasons why I was actually paying for BritBox for a while, because I was digging the whole classic Doctor Who thing, and the only place you could really watch it was Pluto TV, and I was like, I can get every episode for like $8.
Right.
A month. And after a while, I was like, I think I've seen them all like 12 times now. So I think I'm good for a while. I'll pay for it again when I want to go binge them some more. But yeah, you're right. I can't believe I was off, but I was off. So I guess there was an overlap though, which is probably why I was confused, because Fringe came out in 2008, according to what I'm looking at here, and Haven came out in 2010. So I guess there was an overlap there, and maybe that's why I was confused.
And I guess I didn't watch that with my first wife because we had already been divorced for 3-4 years by then.
You're probably thinking of X-Files.
Maybe. Yeah, somewhere. Also, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say this because it's actually fun. I told Jeff about it this weekend, but I'm I'm okay with it. So my mom's birthday was Sunday, so we went out, we watched some, we had dinner, did some stuff, came back and, watched some TV. And she threw on something on Hallmark Movies Now. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, Christmas movies, Token Hottie and everything. There's a TV show on the mystery section on there called Carter. It's with Jeremy O'Connell. He plays an actor who got into a little bit of a controversy on the red carpet. So he goes home to his home in Canada, and his friend, who's a cop who looks like a great value, Gina Torres, he starts working with her because he plays a cop on TV. So he's like got the #1 crime drama and everything. And he's using his stuff from TV to help solve. It's very tongue in cheek and self-aware about it, because they're even making jokes about, this would be in the 5th act if this was on, and it's called Carter. It's actually kind of fun. So I think when I'm done with Sanctuary, I'm going to binge that. And I'm not embarrassed to say that, because it is a fun show. It actually had me laughing, and not a lot of things, even comedies today, don't get me laughing very much. So Twitter gets me rolling, but
well, it's because comedies,
intentional comedies aren't, where this one, it's funny in its it's almost SG1 in its self-awareness. Drink. And you have to respect that.
Hey, it's on Prime. I did not know that.
What's that?
Carter.
Is it on Prime? Okay, I can watch it on Prime, and I don't have to subscribe to Hallmark Movies Now.
Shows it's available on Prime Video and Apple TV. So
okay, cool.
Which, yeah, when you said Jerry O'Connell, you kind of had me, because I had been rewatching Sliders until the world went nuts, and I've been watching news nonstop. But kind of got back to the point. The problem is I have a really good memory, so eventually I get kind of tired of, unless it's like Star Trek or something, because I can like get to the point where I'm like, okay, I know this whole episode word for word. Got to find something else to watch.
Right.
So new Jerry O'Connell material would be nice, because. Especially now.
Yeah, he's kind of aged out. He's got the wrinkles in his face, but you can totally tell it's him. And even with the voice, because that's when I picked up on it, was with the voice. Well, holy shit! I mean, I didn't even have to hit the more info button on on the remote. But yeah, it's wholesomely fun. So, and generally, I don't like cop shows. Cop procedurals is not something I'm a fan of, but this was, I watched 2 episodes with my mom and I'm like, you know what? This is not a bad show. I'm going to check it out.
I like procedural shows, and a lot of the ones that I watch are on break right now. And then, like I said, Blue Bloods is about to be done forever, which makes me really, really sad. That show's been around for a long time for a TV show, especially lately, because nothing has longevity anymore. That
I
one's
think
been
that's the
around
only thing that's keeping
forever.
Tom Selleck alive.
I don't really think so, but I just think it's funny that he's actually older than the dude that they have playing the grandpa by like 6 months.
Right.
Oh, but anyway, but yeah, no. So yeah, I'll probably be. I may actually turn that one on.
Check
for
it
a
out.
little bit tonight, so
Yeah, like I said, it's good, wholesome entertainment. So,
But yeah, for those of you who don't know, Jerry O'Connell plays the first officer on Lower Decks, which is kind of awesome.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. And unfortunately, that season that show is coming to an end. It seems like lately they've been, I guess they're trying to do like an homage to the original series that was supposed to get like 5 seasons, because now everything they've done has been ending at 5 seasons. Because Discovery just ended at 5, this one's going to end at 5. Now I'm like, are they going to really end Strange New Worlds at 5?
I
They
think
better
TNG ended at 5 too. I think DS9 was the
7.
only one that got 7.
No, the format for TNG, DS9, and Voyager were all the same. They all got 7 seasons.
Okay, that's right. Yeah,
And then that's why everybody was so surprised when Enterprise ended at the 4th season, because
they were on UPN and got canceled.
Their entire network got scrapped, so that didn't help.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's like I was a friend of mine was just watching Stargate Universe with. I can't believe they ended like that. I said, yeah, well, MGM went bankrupt, so everything they were working on at that time ended like that.
I can't believe by now nobody's. I mean, I know the stories have gone on and been concluded through books, but I really wish somebody would have at least come back and finished that one with a movie or something, instead of just leaving them like.
Yeah, I mean, Stargate SG-1 got 2 movies. I'm surprised. Well, I don't think they could get a movie out of Atlantis now because Jason Momoa is just so far up his own ass with success. I'm Aquaman, not Ronan Dex. So
I don't know. I mean, is he? I don't know. I don't pay enough attention, but after that Super Bowl commercial he did a few years ago where he was making fun of himself, I kind of thought maybe he wasn't one of those people.
Okay, maybe. Well, I don't know. The last time I paid attention to him was when he was blasting fucking Captain America for drinking water out of a plastic bottle and not a reusable bottle as he was flying to Palm Springs on his private jet. Jason Momoa was doing the flying, not anyway. Fucking people are so annoying.
I mean, they're people.
Yeah, people were generally a bad idea. Not us, and not chat. We're all right. Chat lives matter, but everybody else, they can do without.
Oh.
So anyway, where can people find you this week?
For this week, you can find me tomorrow afternoon and Friday afternoon doing the Rick Robinson show for the last 2 shows of the week. I think Jen is on vacation, so I'm not quite sure what I'm doing tomorrow night yet. And then Friday, I'll be back doing He Said, She Said with Aggie at Aggie time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on KLRN Radio. And then Saturday night, I'll be producing for Bumpstock Barbie and Bumpstock Ken while they do Talk Murder to Me. Sunday night, I'll be back around doing America Off the Rails at 10 p.m. Eastern. Then everything starts over, and I'm back around doing America Off the Rails on Monday. Other than that, you can find me on social media at RowdyRick73 as a contributor on LoftusParty.com, MisfitsPolitics.com, and Twitchy.com. And I also produce the Loftus Party podcast, which usually drops on Tuesdays. How about you, Amish? Where can folks find you?
You can find me as Yoda Secreto on Twitter, because if they're going to suspend Ordnance Packard, I'm not going to refer to them as X. I'm off the rest of the week. I ain't got shit going on. I go back to work on Monday. Looking forward to that because I'm fucking bored. And next I will be on Tuesday night on Manorama's Rank Receives Manorama round panel. Wednesday, you and I are going to be doing Toxic Masculinity with G and Aggie, and we may even have a Babe of the Month. Who knows? And then we'll be back here with you again next Thursday doing Rick and Orty, or next Wednesday. Thursday next week, I'll be doing Culture Shift with Brad Slager, and I think that's it. We got Jugs next week, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. I thought you were doing Culture Shift on the off weeks for Jux.
Okay, so do we want to do a Jux this weekend? Is that the plan?
No, that's not the plan because we have Talk Murder to me. But when did things get flipped? Because I never flipped them.
Wait, is tomorrow Culture Shift? Shit.
Yeah.
What was Disasters in the Making last week?
Yeah, Disasters. I produced Disasters last week.
Oh, then fuck, I'm way off. Then yeah, I got Culture Shift tomorrow. Shit. Glad somebody said something.
I was like, wait a minute.
I don't have the schedule in chat, Jeff.
Well, that's not Jeff's fault. We're trying to get the website.
I'm just he keeps talking about he updates the schedule and nobody seems to pay attention. I've actually come to rely on it because I've got so many shows on every other week, so I don't know which week is what. So yeah, I guess I got Culture Shift tomorrow with Brad Slager. That's fantastic.
See, I guess it's a good thing you said something because wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense because that's sucks. That I was like, when did we switch? But yeah, anyway. Or you could have to say it 20 times a week like I do, and you'd have them all memorized by now. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. I am punch drunk.
As Lou used to say, anywho. She probably still says it.
On that note, folks, I'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon. We're getting out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out with us. Last I checked, we had peaked out at just over 200 on this one. So thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks. You were great. Yell Hydra.
Send lawyers, guns, and money. Dad, get me out of this.
Say goodnight, Gracie.